All right, welcome to the GameChanger00100 show. I'm your host, Game Changer, and I am going to make this a quick one. So, salute to everybody in the chat. Let me shout out to the lady of the hour, DNieka Marie. Salute to her. The name of the book is crap. Where is that book? Submission is not the enemy. So check her out on that. All right, so. Let me bring up the link. Apologies. I just left Bernard Riley's. So get a couple of things going. And yeah, apologies also for constantly pushing back the time. But all right, check history. And I want to get into it. So I clicked this link. Now, you should know already that I don't really watch Tasha K like that. And this isn't to shoot at her or anything like that. This is just to say that it's not my form of entertainment. All right. But when she did a show saying that for interview, YouTuber DNieka Marie tells Tasha K, I'm not a pick me and I don't pander, I had to see the context in which DNieka Marie said, I'm not a pick me. Now, I didn't watch the whole thing. That's why I put part one here because I'm gonna cut this in several parts, so it's not like one long video. Because y'all know it take me like 3 hours to cover a 15-minute video. So, and this is a 1 hour video, and I want to cover the whole thing. So it's gonna be like part one to, whatever, however many it takes to cover this one. Because from what I heard, it was an interesting video. All right, so now I don't want to get copyright hit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the picture of them discussing. And then y'all could just tell. I'm pretty sure the people here heard DNieka Marie's voice or heard Tasha K's voice. So it's really no need to, say who's talking now, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know who's speaking when. So, and if you don't know by the voice, you know by what they say, and then you could tell by the voice. All right. So, salute to the woman of the hour. Salute to DNieka Marie. Great interview. I still want to know what you meant when you said I'm not a pick me. I haven't got to that part yet. Maybe it's in the end, and I know that things get quoted out of context and stuff. So, but shout out to you. All right, let's make it happen.
All right, so we have DNieka. You are a relationship. I want to say, what would you call yourself? Because you're in the realm of like. Can I compare you to Kevin Samuels? Can I compare?
Oh, don't be it. They already do.
They already do. Okay,
they already.
Turn her up just a little bit on my side, Sade, because I can't hear. It's hard for me to hear a little bit. So they already compare you to Kevin Samuels and who else? No, Tony Gaskins is not so controversial. They definitely don't compare you to Derek Jackson. I mean, his message is total.
Oh, I have.
Now, I'm going to say something, and I know this is stating the obvious, but I'm thinking it so hard that I must say it in order to like get it out my head and focus more on the video. DNieka Marie is significantly hotter than Kendra G, I think, or Kendra D, or Tasha K. My bad. She's significantly hotter than Tasha K. I know you all were thinking it, but I wanted to say it. I wanted to get that off my chest.
I've been compared to Derek Jackson in the past.
You have?
Yeah, they said that I pander to men, which I don't feel like I do, but they have compared me to Derek Jackson in the past.
Okay.
So I get the female Kevin Samuels, and then in the past I've got the female Derek Jackson.
Okay, so basically you are a YouTuber, of course. You have over 100,000 followers, hundreds of thousands of views, viral views on your videos. You're also an author, a published author.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
And you basically your channel revolves around you providing relationship advice to men and women. And sometimes it's really harsh.
Do you think it's really harsh?
I don't think so, because I ain't looking for no man. I'm good. So I mean, people would say I'm harsh at what I do, but hey, somebody's got to be honest around here,
I mean, I don't feel like I'm harsh, but I guess See, the thing is, Tasha, these days, keeping it real is being mean, being harsh. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's just the truth. Like, the truth spares no feelings. It doesn't care.
Okay. So far, I definitely agree with what DNieka is saying. And also with Tasha K is saying. She's being just as honest and sincere as any woman of any time in history was. She's not being particularly malicious. The thing that's changed is the times has changed, meaning that there are a lot more critiques. So back in the day, back in the 80s, right? It would be considered harsh to say your skirt is too short for church. You know, like you're this isn't the way that you dress at church. That would be something that's considered harsh because that was pretty much, you know, like a bad thing that a woman can do. Now the bar has shifted so much that the general standards, you know, that women are so far from the general standards that DNieka Marie preaches that it comes off as harsh. But really, it's the same standards that existed before. You're just so far below it now that it's harsh. It's harsh. Fair use.
Who hates it, who loves it. It just is what it is. And so
That's
I just do my best to be honest and transparent. And if it hurts your feelings, then I'm sorry. But, you know,
that's true.
people hurt my,
That is very, very
people
true.
hurt my feelings all the time. You just take it on the chin. You know, they say the truth will hurt your feelings first. Okay. But then once you take it in, you just got to take it in.
And yeah, the truth will hurt. And yeah, a lot of women are not only subpar, but they're subpar. So, and here's what I mean by subpar. So you have a guy that's maybe like, you know, 5'4", 5'5" old, and somebody says, "You're short. You are sub tall." And then you meet the guy that's like, you know, 3'9" and something like that. He is short. So the bar is now subpar. So yes, it is harsh to tell them that they're subpar.
They accept it and learn from it and grow from it, hopefully. But
That part. So what got you into? Because I've seen, and this was probably one of my most favorite videos, and of course it was a lot of people's favorite video because it went viral. Uncomfortable conversations. Women are intimidated by good men.
Yep.
And so, what got you into the relationship space?
That was weird. And trust me, the numbers prove it. Her interview skills and stuff like that. And I interviewed DNieka Marie before. Her interview skills is far superior to mine. The numbers prove it. You know, the numbers don't lie. However, she brought up a topic to ask, why are you even talking about relationships? I don't know. That's keep in mind, I only watched this once, and I watched it real early, like right before I did the Bernard show. So, you know, I don't really, you know, I didn't comprehend everything, but that framing of the question is, you know, it's kind of like saying, you know, hey, politician, you just dropped the N bomb 5 times. So what got you into politics? You know, I don't. The framing was just a little off.
Honestly, I don't know, Tasha. I've been doing this, I want to say since 2013, 2014. I got my first, I got my first viral videos over on Facebook actually.
Okay.
I started off doing like poetry, spoken word, and a lot of my poetry topics were revolving around relationships and kind of holding women accountable, just giving that balance.
Now, DNieka, I love you, but I don't love spoken word or poetry. Maybe yours is particularly good, but as an entire thing, I don't like it. You know, all I hear is every single word like this. Like, that's what I hear. And it's like, what the hell is that? And I used to listen to a lot of it because I used to do stand up. I used to do stand up on open mic. and it was like a lot of spoken word people there. And I would do that to wait my turn. Like, dang, I gotta listen to this spoken word person. I know they got incense, and I know that they got a door made of beads in their house. But could you just get on with it? Could you just get on with it so I can do my super funny stand up open mic comedy routine? That's the way I looked at it.
Perspective, because I really felt like that was missing. I feel like a lot of women these days, we do pacify and pander to one another, and so I started making content or, spoken word based upon that, and that went viral. It got on World Star and Gossip and all kind of different platforms. And then I just kind of transferred over to the YouTube space back in 2019. So I got started on that. But I started off doing poetry revolving around relationships. And I've just always been like this relationship oriented type of girl, I guess. And so it was.
Somebody said, tell me you did a routine making fun of them. No, I didn't make fun of the spoken word people because they kind of like ran the show. They had the power to jump me, and none of my comedy fans would have my back. But what I did make fun of one time, because I rarely make fun of the audience unless they came at me. But I remember one time it was a Mexican chick, and she thought she was funny. She went before me. She thought she was funny because she was telling the story about how she shot a nigga down, right? Like, I mean, she spiced it up and stuff like that, but really what it came down to was a dude shot his shot and got shot down by her. And that's not interesting. That type of stuff happened every day. She was a pretty chick. But here's the thing. She made it into this whole woman empowerment thing, and she compared it to like her grandmother who immigrated through the Mexican desert and crap like that. I was like, what? Like, she's not strong because she married my grandfather, but I'm strong because I shot this nigga down. I roasted her all night long. All night. I roasted her all night long. She felt like crap after my comedy routine. That was hilarious. If I could find the audio, this was years ago. If I could find the audio on that, I'll bring it. But yeah, I roasted her. Somebody get that Pitter Jordan. Don't do that craziness. Yeah. But roasted her all night long. So I rarely just pick people out, but she was asking for it.
It just felt like it was like my calling, so to speak. Like I was always somebody that was just, enthusiastic about relationships, especially, Black love and bridging the gap between us to kind of get us on the same accord. So it was just something that just came naturally and organic towards me. And then, just speaking your truth, people gravitate towards what they resonate with. And so,
of course, it comes naturally to you. You see, that's the problem with modern society, because it comes natural to all women. Like, wanting to be with a man and get him a sandwich is your natural imperative. But because society is teaching women to go in a different direction, like that chick who thinks that she's just as powerful as her grandma. That was crazy. But anyway, because society is pulling women to this direction, it's a shame that they have to be pulled back to their natural state. But it comes, in my opinion, it comes natural to most all women. It just seems unnatural because we live in an unnatural environment.
it just took over on its own.
I was immediately intrigued when I saw you holding women accountable because, me, I am, of course, I don't believe in all of his views, but for the most part, I think Kevin Samuels is dead on. And I don't like to use him as an example, but I haven't seen a woman in your space holding other women accountable, calling them out on their bullshit. And, I see it every day. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, listen, as long as they don't ask my advice, they'll never know the truth. That's my thing. Like, when you start asking my advice, then I'm gonna have to get in your ass a little bit. But at the same time, I feel that a lot of viewers view it as pandering to men by you holding women accountable. How you feel about that?
Okay, I'm gonna say before she give her answer, I'm gonna say why that is. Because she's telling women to be a better bitch is essentially one. And correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, DNieka. You're here. Is be a better bitch like part of your core message? Like be a better bitch. If so, this is something that benefits men. Now, somebody, and this is where it constantly gets confused because telling women to be a better bitch, it's not really a pander to men. A pander to men would be, oh, GC, you so fine, you blow my mind. Hey, GC, like that's pandering to a man. Like it's not. She don't come like oh you're just so perfect because Y chromosome. She's not doing that. You know. She's basically saying be a better bitch, or excuse me, be a better woman.
I feel like it's an unfair judgment because even in the midst of me holding women accountable, it's not like I'm just completely letting men off the hook. I'm still telling men that, hey, you need to be positioning yourself to be a provider, be a protector, be a leader, be a teacher. You know what I mean? So I'm still holding men to a.
And let's damn it. All right, I'm definitely gonna have to take that later. Oh, okay, it's a good thing they called. So F Holiday, thanks for the cash app. Greatly appreciate you. F Holiday, let me see if you have a message with it. Ah, crap. All right, hold on. Hit the like button. All right, let's see. Gonna have to check that out later. How do people send voicemails? All right, crap. All right, I'll check it out later because there's a lot going on my phone right now.
Standard. It's not like I'm just completely saying, you know what, men do no wrong and the women just need to get their act together and bow down. I'm actually saying like, no.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. DNieka is the most adept. And Chantel does it too. Chantel does it too. But DNieka puts the spin on it because she's good at naming people's stuff. And by Chantel, I mean Chantel Simone. Subscribe to her if you haven't already. But she calls them simp lollipoppies and simp pansies and stuff like that. So she does hold men accountable for general simp behavior. And here's the thing, to me, that's a bigger problem than just. I can't think of what men can do that is worse than general simpery as far as harming himself goes. And by simpery, what I define, and for the sake of this conversation, my definition of simpery would be to, making extraordinary compromises for relationships just so you can have sex. Like, and yeah, so she does break those down. She didn't list it here, but yeah, she does break those down.
While we do as women need to be positioning ourselves or carrying ourselves in a particular manner, men still have to uphold their end of the bargain in order to get that kind of woman to quote unquote. Hold on, Tasha. Submit. Okay, y'all know y'all hate that word. But it's a lot of men out there, just to.
You didn't see it. Y'all didn't see it. Hold on, I'm gonna show it to you. I want y'all to see the look on Tasha's face when DNieka said submit. Hold on, I'm gonna pause it there and then I'll move it over.
You know what I mean? So I'm still holding men to a standard. It's not like I'm just completely saying, you know what, men do no wrong and the women just need to get their act together and bow down. I'm actually saying like, no. While we do as women need to be positioning ourselves or carrying ourselves in a particular manner, men still have to uphold their end of the bargain in order to get that kind of woman to quote unquote, hold on, Tasha, submit. Okay, y'all know y'all.
All right. Now, here's the expression that Tasha had the moment that word was said. Right before the word submit was said, and DNieka prepared her for it. She prepared Tasha for the general word submit. But she still has the look of surprise, like she was caught off guard. Like she was caught off guard. This is the look of that a black dude would have in a barbershop if a white dude just dropped the N-bomb. Like, like I'm gonna prepare you. I'm about to say this word, but here's the word, and then just drops the N-bomb. That's the look on his face, like, what? Excuse me? Like, did you just say subvert? Did you just say submit? How dare you speak such blasphemy? That's what it looks like.
I hate that word. Ooh. But
Ooh.
It's a lot of men out there, just to go there for a second. It's a lot of men out there that are looking for women to submit to them, cater to them, love them, and all of this, be supportive and everything. And then they don't measure up as men. And so I absolutely hold men accountable in their regard, telling them that, hey, you have to be a particular type of man in order to get that from a woman in the first place. So I really don't understand why a lot of women feel like I do pander to men when I do.
Now, she does say that in her book, too. So, oh, by the way, thanks a lot for the super chat. Appreciate you. Thanks a lot, love. So, yeah, she do say that in her book as well. She does hold the men accountable for not being prepared for proper submission. And trust me, I know, because, I talk to women in the background who are working on it, because a lot of them were conditioned out of it, but a lot of men just aren't prepared to receive proper submission. In fact, I'm not going to tell this story, but it had to do with my ex, and she came across one of these pseudo dominant dudes.
Hold them accountable as well. It could be based upon my platform, though. Tasha, my platform is 95% male. And so,
I was gonna say, because that was gonna be my next thing. I was like, you do have a male-dominated audience, yes. And I feel like, this is not to over-sexualize you. I tell people like this in the creative.
Okay, I'm gonna cover this. I'm gonna talk about this now, because I talked to Chantel about this in the back thing. Hers is actually a little better. I think she's like 87% male, but. Listen, men want submission more than women want to be told about themselves. Like, men want submissive women more than women are willing to change their behavior and lifestyle in order to please a man. That is the unfortunate reality of modern times. Men want it more than women are willing to learn what we want. That being the case, people who talk about, what men want and what women need to do to give men what they want is going to have a stronger male following than female following. So in DNieka's channel, it's like 5% of women actually give a shit. 5% of women that listen actually give a shit about what men want, while 95% of men want what they want. So it makes perfect sense that the numbers are like that. Nevertheless, even if the 95% just left, that's still a huge following of women that is listening to her. Like, it's more than a church full of women that's listening to her and her message on how to be a better woman, as DNieka said, how to be a better woman. So it's still significant. Let's not ignore that. The message is getting to women. It's like a slow sandwich.
space and the influencer space all the time. You have to look good in order to succeed. A lot of times in these spaces, okay, and you are a very attractive female, I believe, and I feel that when you are,
I'm saying I believe. Stop saying I believe. Like when something is like so overtly apparent, you don't have to say I believe. Like there's certain basketball players that you could just say, hey, I believe you're a good basketball player. And it's subjective. It's a matter of opinion. But you don't just say that when it comes to like LeBron James. You don't just say, oh yeah, in my opinion, he's a good basketball. What the hell? You don't say that when it comes to Michael Jordan. You don't say like, "Hey, in my opinion, he's a great basketball player." In my opinion, Muhammad Ali is a great boxer. You don't just like some things is just so overtly obvious that you don't have to put the "in my opinion," you know, stamp. You don't have to say, Einstein is pretty smart in my opinion. But you can just leave that part out. I don't know why that bothered me so much, but it did. Shout out to Sweet Melody Speaks. No, DNieka, this isn't like a over compliment or something like that. This isn't me just like overly complimenting you, but it's like, come on now. It's reasonable to assume. Like it's this isn't like a over like, oh, she's just undeniably hot or something like that. No, it's just a reasonable assertion to where you don't have to say, in my opinion. Come on now. All right. Bernard Riley, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, brother. I appreciate you.
one saying shit that men have always wanted to say, and holding women accountable because you are a woman. It kind of puts you more in I guess a higher position than most women. Make
Yeah,
sense?
I can get that. Yeah.
Okay. What she's talking about, what she's saying in a roundabout way is pretty privilege. And yes, pretty privilege is a thing. And DNieka just acknowledged that. It is a thing, and one of the many pretty privileges is a large audience of men if you have something poignant to say. So yeah, that is going, like, men are more likely to click on a pretty image and stuff like that. So yeah, what she's talking about is pretty privilege exists for you. So and that pretty much goes without saying. uh, but I do sense, and this is why I mentioned earlier that DNieka Marie is significantly hotter than Tasha K. The reason why I bring that up is because I want you fellas to see when I see like the extraordinary mismatches here, and this isn't me to shade on Tasha K in that regard, because you can still be less attractive than DNieka and still be attractive. So this isn't me throwing shade at Tasha. What it is I want fellas to notice the interaction between women when a hotter woman is present. That's what I want y'all to notice. I want y'all to notice that. I want y'all to feel that because I it's annoying. I've conditioned myself to ignore it. Nana envy. I condition myself to ignore it, because it really doesn't affect me as a man too much. So I just like, it's Nana envy. Don't really bother me. But since I became a content creator, I look for it because it helps me scan for the authenticity of what a woman has to say and how she is saying it when a hotter woman is present. So listen, I forgot my train of thought. So what did she say that triggered that response? Oh, so this is her, in my opinion, kind of like insinuating that the men are watching the men who are watching DNieka Marie has the volume off. There, I said it. She is trying to say that men aren't actually listening. They are watching with the volume off, waiting for her to put the lip gloss on. That is what she's insinuating. That is my conclusion. But here, play some more.
A woman, it kind of puts you more in I guess a higher position than most women. Make
Yeah,
sense?
I can get that. Yeah, I understand that.
Okay.
And that's something that I've got critiqued about as well, though.
Okay.
Because a lot of people say, well, they're only watching you because you got your breast hanging out, or they're.
You see that? So she realized that. She realized that, like, yeah, that's what she was poking at. That's what she was poking at. Like, they're not watching you for the dope discussions and the great content. Nope. They watching you for the gloss. They watching you for the gloss. That's what she was hinting at. Thanks again, Bernard Riley.
only watching you because you look this particular way or you're an attractive woman. Otherwise, they wouldn't care.
How are your DMs?
What the hell? What the hell? How are your DMs? She didn't finish this current topic. She wanted to dispel the whole they're actually watching me because I have great content and I'm an intelligent woman with a book out on this topic. I'm talking to a core issue that affects modern men tremendously. And I do it in an insightful and comical way. That is what she was getting at. And you interrupted with, how are your DMs? What the hell? What the hell? All right, Stefan says GC peeling back the curtain. Absolutely. I'm giving a thorough examination. Like, so how are your DMs? Like, no, she was just getting to why they actually watch it. She's basically saying, yes, I'm a pretty woman, but the men come to me to watch my content because what the hell? Okay. See, I'm gonna show y'all something. Hold on. Let me show y'all what I mean. What's her name? Okay, I remember. All right, hold on. This is a pretty woman. This is a pretty woman who goes by the name Sun Pie. I covered her show once, and that's it. I covered her show once to give an example of pretty privilege. And basically to rub it in the face of less pretty chicks who be like, oh, how come I don't have as many subscribers as her? Well, this is why. So she's pretty, and I don't watch her shit. Like the times I click it is to point out something. Like I clicked this one because I was talking to Bernard in the background, and he could confirm this. I was talking to Bernard in the background. We was talking about if they were real or fake. But I don't watch her shit. Like, but I do watch DNieka's. And you want to know why? Because I like her content. You think she's the only attractive woman online? Like they got all these like TikToks and the wobbles and shakes and stuff like that. I'm not watching that crap. I like to listen to DNieka. Sometimes I'm not even like listening. I mean, sometimes I'm not even watching. Sometimes like I have it while I'm washing dishes or something. So stop trying to insinuate that she just got a thirsty nigga audience. Stop trying to come like that. Stop trying to come like, her audience is just full of like 95% thirsty ass niggas. No, she got good stuff. If you don't play video games, but you watch Sun Pie, then yes, you are that dude. However, I actually enjoy her content. Stop the bullshit.
Tasha, let's not even go there, okay? I'm a married woman, so they really have a problem. And like, girl, how you married and you dress like that, and how you married and you act like this?
Who said that?
Everyone.
Where's Portia Williams? Who said that? Who said that?
Everybody. That's a common critique. I oftentimes get critiqued about, I guess, my sex appeal. And also, my tattoos and, my vernacular, the way that I speak, And so I feel like they use that, though, as a means to kind of.
I agree with that. In fact, I get people talk to me about the DNieka's vernacular and stuff like that. But I don't really care how people say something as long as they say it right. I mean, as long as they're saying the right thing. You see, DNieka is suffering from a bunch of uh, dumb chicks using the same vernacular as her. And I'll give an example. I give an example of how this affect regular people. Like, do you hear somebody with an Alabama accent, online talking on smart people stuff? Because I watch development tutorials, right? And it's always an Indian accent, and sometimes an African accent, and sometimes it's a regular black dude, right? So these are the accents that are associated with software development. That's just a field. The Indians got that on lock, and so do the Africans, right? So we're used to hearing that accent in relation to that particular genre. And if somebody was to say it in an Alabama accent, it sounds stupid. But it's not really that what they're saying is stupid, because they could be saying the same thing and they could be saying it in a better way than the Indian guy. It's just that a bunch of Alabama people are stupid. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I don't know. I've never been to Alabama. So, yeah, I get that she gets flack like that. But what she's doing is she's smartening the accent. That's what she's doing. She's smartening the accent. And there's a conversion process in some people's brain to get used to it.
Attack me because they can't attack the message, right? And so since I can't attack the message, I'll just go for the messenger. I'll just talk about how she dresses. I'll talk about the way that she speaks. I'll talk about her tattoos, whatever they can do to distract from the main point at hand. A lot of women I notice do that. But don't get it twisted, Tasha. Men have done it too. I had a very popular guy attacked me, he just went off on me. And I felt like it was because, Tasha, because I am in a male dominating space, so to speak. And I didn't try to put myself there, it just happened. And I don't know if you're familiar with the.
Now that's true, and that's a very good point. She had her following before this space discovered her. Because make no mistake, this space discovered her. DNieka discovered my channel when I was covering her channel. And then Obsidian discovered her, and then it just went out from there. But, the Menosphere came to her, not the other way around. She didn't come to us looking for an audience. She already had her audience. And, if anything, she helped bring some of her audience to us. So, that's really what happens. Some of these chicks, they linger around Manosphere spaces like all the time, and they hop on every panel, and they're constantly putting their avatar or their picture or their photo up, trying to get a primary male audience. That's not her, and that's not anybody in this new wave of pick-meism. Even Melody, she started off at Rashida Strober's channel, and then the Manosphere found her. So that's how it works. So yeah.
The Menosphere.
Yes.
Yeah. So
the men going. My producer Nicole has really kind of brought me up to speed on a lot of this stuff, because, I'm not out here single, nor would I want to be, because I heard that these streets ain't loyal to nobody these days. So I'm kind of glad that I've kind of exited that 16 years ago. But is it called men going their own way type movement, or is that different?
See, it was something that was even new to me.
Okay.
I didn't know what it was either. They have a Menosphere. One that I'm familiar with, though, is called the Black Menosphere. It's pretty much where men come to congregate together to express their concerns or express some of their issues.
This is true.
Or whatever, pertaining to relationships in general. So it's a combination of all of that. They have I think it's called the MGTOW, the Men Go Their Own Way. So they're part of it. But they have a combination of different things that men talk about. So they have that element of it to where men are like, I'm done with women, and we just need to go our own way. And then you have another sector of it to where they are trying to bridge the gap.
All right. So Tasha is an avatar for basic looking chicks. Well, maybe, maybe. That's why they relate. Most black women can't attract men by being pleasant to black men. Well, I mean, they can attract more men by doing that than by being unpleasant to them. Like, like, have they tried that? Like, try being pleasant to us and see if you attract more and a higher quality of them. I mean, hey, put it to the test. So DNieka said, right, I didn't choose my audience. Yeah, I didn't choose mine. I'm pretty sure that if DNieka, Melody, Chantel, and people of that type, if they were able to choose their own audience, it would be full of like apt young ladies that genuinely want to know, what did you do right, DNieka, to land your husband and have a healthy marriage at such a young age? Like, it would be apt full of women like that, who want to learn the secrets of happiness, and probably didn't really were misguided about submission and want to learn how to be actually submissive. But your channel attracted who it attracted, and you really can't have like a group of submissive females without a larger group of men. That's just in any setting. You're going to have that.
They also talk about building finances. So it's just pretty much a space where just men come to just build together, learn from each other, talk about women, talk about money, talk about building and growing and becoming better men, things of that sort. Mm-hmm. And so by default, because a lot of my subscribers were in that space, they gravitated towards me because, again, like you said, the attractive woman, talking about some of the things that you're talking about, it's only natural that they, chime in, listen in and watch. And I felt like I was impeding on a lot of other men that were in this quote unquote Black Menosphere space. And they were like, hold up. And so I had men actually attack me for that, because it's like, she's picking up more speed than we are. This space is supposed to be for men. Why are y'all watching her? Why are y'all going?
Okay, that's strange, because she's not technically in the Black Manosphere, for one, and for two, it's not really picking up speed because she came already faster. She came with her own thing that was completely independent of the Manosphere. So it's not really that she would pick up speed from that. She's just going at the given speed. That's pretty much, she's going at the same speed, and if some, But see, here's the thing, and I want fellas who are against her for that particular reason to understand this: that her channel slowing down will not speed up yours. That's just not the way things work. If you were to somehow convince all people to stop listening to her, that doesn't necessarily mean they'll start listening to you. So it's that type of thinking is not really helpful to whatever you're trying to accomplish in that regard.
Going to her, and I felt like I was probably stepping on their toes a little bit, but I had no idea about what a Black Menosphere was, and so they just kind of like put me in there based upon my audience. But yeah, I had a lot of men attacking me for that. They were like, "Why are y'all listening to this B word? She doesn't know what she's talking about. She's a woman. She's a female, And so they were attacking me too. So I was getting pretty much from.
All right, MOT, I'll bite. I'm missing the point completely. Let me know. That's how I'm getting it. I don't know if you're a detractor or something like that, but I could be completely wrong. Let me know.
Both men and women coming at me, being in this area that I'm in and speaking on the things that I talk about.
I mean, this whole, and I'm glad you touched on that. Thank you for that. Like, this whole men going their own way thing, and we don't.
That had very little to do with what she said. So she kept the same energy from the previous question of men going, get him out. That Robbins person, get him out. I hate you. Whoever you are doing crap like that, I hate you. Damn it. Anyway, she went back to the MGTOW. I don't get it. Like, DNieka was taking the conversation in a more interesting directions, but now she's going back to the MGTOW thing, and very few people in the Black Manosphere identify as MGTOW. So that's
need women. Well, who do you need? That's what I'm trying to figure this out. Like, who do you need?
I don't even know where they going.
What they ain't going nowhere because they can't go anywhere.
Okay, I don't know of a content creator that's saying that I don't need a woman. I mean, okay, well, let me take that back. Because a man don't really need a woman for survival, like we don't really, we can do pretty good all on our own, even if like electricity stopped working and stuff like that. We would be okay. Now, what women have is something that we severely want. And I'm not just talking about sex. I'm talking about in general is something that we want, whether it's, we want, see, here's the thing. I don't need you to get me a sandwich, but I want you to get me a sandwich. I get my own damn sandwich, but I prefer you get it. Yes, and it's an extreme want, but what she's talking about, and this is what the Black feminists were talking about when they said, I don't need a man, it's really more like I'm going to attempt to function completely without them. And that's not the message of anybody that I know in the space, quite frankly. I mean, there are very few people who attempt to do that. So, yeah. So MLT says, how is such a small group this much of a threat? Because it's a change of ideals. Remember, feminism used to be a small group of women. It used to be a small group of overweight buzzcut chicks, in the 1920s, who couldn't get a man and didn't like him and stuff like that. So they know that small groups of people can have large influences. Let's see. I don't agree that men or women should part ways or go their own ways. Well, I'm not MGTOW. And so yeah, but what I do understand of it, which is reasonably small compared to the people who are MGTOW, is that I don't think that they're abstaining. Typically, it's a white dude thing, the MGTOW thing, but I don't think that they're abstaining. And I think that they have a separate word for the ones that do, but I do think that they are avoiding situations with women that can compromise them, like marriage and divorce and things like that. So, I don't know the particulars, but yeah.
Unless we breed the seeds, you understand? So they can't go. They think that they can survive. Like seriously, you think that you can survive or breed a son without having a woman. So I've always wanted to say that. I'm just like, where are you going? You ain't going nowhere. You're gonna take your ass in the room and lay it down. You know what I'm saying?
What the hell? So if she wonders why MGTOW exists, it's because of crap like that. I'm going to play that again. Did y'all hear? You're going to take your ass in the room. You see how this is the opposite of submission? See, this is what we have been trying to avoid. She might as well say, you're going to take your ass in that field and pick this cotton. Pick this cotton. She might as well have said, you're going to take your black ass in the field and pick me some tobacco. She might as well have just said that. Did you hear that? Did y'all listen again? Yeah, I'm gonna do slow motion. Listen at that again. See, it's crap like that. So, and that shows how little she know about the manosphere. Listen at this.
What do you need?
I don't even know where they going.
What they ain't going nowhere because they can't go anywhere.
You can't go anywhere. Massa said you can't go. We got hounds, we got muskets, we got 6-shooters, we got a Maxim machine gun, we got daggers, we got the slave catching patrol, we got nets, and we got nooses. You ain't going nowhere. That's what she's saying. You can't go nowhere. Bitch, how dare you say that? See, this is what they think. This is what's in their brain. Like, I got you, nigga. I got you. You can't go nowhere. You ain't going nowhere. I got you. Pick this cotton. This is unbelievable. Y'all hear this? Y'all hear this? You see, this is crap.
Thing, and we don't need women. Well, who do you need? That's what I'm trying to figure this out. Like, who do you need?
I don't even know where they going.
What they ain't going nowhere because they can't go anywhere unless we breed the seeds. You understand?
They can't go anywhere unless we breed the seeds. They basically like you are enslaved to your desire to have legacy. Now, I want y'all to feel it. I want y'all to feel it. I want y'all to feel what was just said there. Basically, what she was saying is, we are holding your next generation hostage. But furthermore, what you can conclude from this is that they do not have a desire for, because think about it. It would be a mutual hostage situation, right? Like the men would be, oh, you can't go anywhere without my sperm. You can't leave without me. You can't do without me, just like I can't do without you. It would be mutual, but it's not mutual. With her, it's one-sided. It means that you care about having a future generation, and I don't. I don't care. I am perfectly content with not giving you any fucking babies if you don't pick this cotton. Pick this cotton. Future generations is more valuable to you than it is to me. So get in line, nigga. You ain't going nowhere. That's exactly what she's saying. Oh, and look at the look on DNieka's face. Look at the look on DNieka's face when she said that absurdity. Look at that. Look at the shock. And that's why you have SYSBM, men going their own way, etc., etc., etc. Why? Because we're going away from you. Because we are going away from you. The men who go away to Brazil or something like, do you think they say stuff like that? They want to have as many babies as they can by the most qualified man that they can. Even if they have a kid by you, you don't give a shit. You look at it as a hostage, not a child. You look at it as a penis trap. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, so they can't go. They think that
they can't go. They can't go. Y'all hear what she's saying to you? Not to me. She's saying that to you. You can't go.
They can survive. Like seriously, you think that you can survive or breed a son without having a woman. So
do you think you can? I mean, I would assume that you want to breed a son as much as we do. Do you think you can without a man? Y'all see the thinking?
I've always wanted to say that. You know, I'm just like, where are you going? You ain't going nowhere. You gonna take your ass in the room and lay it down. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Y'all hear this? So we got Obsidian out there talking about, I'll lay it down. I am a swordsman. I laid a pipe. You know, that's that thinking. That's that buck thinking. I am not a buck. You get what I give you. Period. Sometimes when you're on your period, you get what I give you. What kind of crap is that? I ain't your buck. I'm Mandingo. This is release your foot. No, I do not care. So what kind of crap is that? You go to the bedroom and put it down? How unsubmissive is that? This is the thinking. Remember, I don't watch this chick because the DNieka Marie is in the headline, it came in my feed and I watched it. And of course the word picked me. So I watched it for that reason. That is some madness. You go in that room and put it down? How dare you? How dare you, miss? Hit the like button.
Let me say this, Tasha, okay? To be fair, okay? Like, I don't agree with that either. To me, it's a very defeated mindset, in my opinion.
Yeah.
However, I can understand it. You know, Tasha, let's put it like, they're the same way.
That's a defeated mindset. I respectfully disagree. I respectfully disagree. Like, that's a defeated mindset. There is no more defeated of a mindset than the men that actually do go into that room and put it down. What the hell? There is nothing more defeated than the man that say, I can't go nowhere because I want to have a son. I'm going to have to stay here and put it down on command.
As a lot of these women are out, you know, today.
Yeah.
They are tired of dealing with, you know, the no good dudes. You know, they just want to have sex and leave us. And, you know, they're not trying to commit and get married and stuff like that. And so they can get fed up as well and be like, you know what, I'm just done. You know, I had a lot of females, a lot of women, I should say, that they're going to go ahead and start, you know, going the other route. And so they're doing that. And so I'm
going the other route. What do you mean going the other route?
Going the other route, Tasha.
Tricking?
No.
Oh, like.
Why was that the first suggestion? What was that the first suggestion? That
the women.
Yes.
Oh, no, because at the end of the day, like, you need dick. I have this conversation all the time. Like, listen, you be a woman all you want. You know what I'm saying? That's cool.
No, you don't. See, it bothers me when women talk about it as if it's something for their pleasure. It's not for your pleasure, it's for my pleasure. What the hell? You get what I get when I give it to you. What kind of crap is that? This is modern woman, fellas. This is modern woman. This is the type of crazy that's out there. I need it. What kind of crap is that? So what happens when I can't give it to you? What happens when I am out fighting against the evil forces of Cobra? Like, what happens if you're a truck driver and you go away? Well, I need it. I need it. What the hell? You're not supposed to need it. You're supposed to need to give it to me. This backwards thinking. It's miswiring is what it is.
Now, I do believe people are born that way, but in some cases, you done had dick your whole life, and all of a sudden, you think you just gonna survive over on the other side, and you used to getting dick. It's not going to work. It ain't gonna work. You're gonna be right back, even worse than you was before, because you're gonna be feeding that shit.
I'm telling you, that's how I feel too, Tasha. Okay, but I'm saying it's kind of the same way with the men. So they're tired of dealing with these, you know, women out here that are, you know, using them, taking advantage of them.
Yeah, telling them to go into the bedroom and put it down. Listen, don't even come at me if you're not in complete submission. If you're not in complete, I don't care if I'm in it. If you do some masculine stuff, perfect example. I will stop mid-stroke if a chick do this. You ever have a chick smack your ass? Like you the woman during sex? You ever have her smack you? What the hell? That just killed the whole movie, killed the whole vibe. You don't do that. That's just disrespectful. What kind of crap is this? Bizarro land chicks, I swear.
You know, and so they're like, you know, I'm fed up. They're tired. And so I get it. While I don't agree with either one of it, I can understand it. I can feel it. But if I could tell those brothers, I would have to tell them, like, hey, bro, like, I understand you probably had some bad experience in the past, but, you know, you just have to keep, you know, working on yourself, and then you'll find somebody, hopefully. And if not, it's okay to be by yourself, but don't be like, I'm going my own way. To me, that's a little bit pathetic, in my opinion. But
that's extreme.
Okay, here's the thing about your own way. And typically when guys talk like that, I think that they're talking about going to a country where women were groomed to be more submissive. But here's the thing. There are more qualified men There are more men who are qualified for submissive women than there are submissive women. So there's going to be an overflow, and it's perfectly natural for people to find love elsewhere. Mine, fortunately, lives here, but she's not from here. She was groomed elsewhere. She was groomed in Cameroon. So, there is that. But there's going to be an overflow.
And you can't live on the extreme side. Like people like to look at like I feel as black and white, and it's not. It's a gray area. That's why racism has not stood up, because they were trying to put people on either side, but it doesn't work like that. So it's extreme, and like you said, it's a bit childish. But do you feel? And this is no shade to you or anything like this. This is I mean this from the safest space. Do you feel that these men are following you because of your message? Or do you feel that they're following you because of your looks? Do you feel that they take your...
There she said it. There she said it. Nana envy. There she said it. That thing, for those of you who are new here, hit the like button. But that thing, I knew it. I sensed it. You could just tell. When there is a huge disparity in physical attractiveness, the Nana envy is there. The whole, you think that they're watching you because of your looks? It's there. I knew it. I knew she was thinking that. And she was thinking that the whole interview. It's like, what, 14 minutes there? She was thinking that the whole interview. Listen, fellas, women can't help. Women can't help but to think about how much hotter another chick is than them when a much hotter chick than them is present. They can't help it. So she's trying to, do you think everything she say, every time she say people say, or do you think, it's something that she say and it's something that she thinks. That's what's going on here. That's what's going on here. They harp on it. It plagues their soul. You ever be in a room with somebody and know they could whoop your ass? Like, but you just get over it like in 3 seconds. You just look like, like, oh, there you can whoop my ass. And you just move on with your life. They don't. They like, oh crap, she's hotter. And then they just think about ways to pick the other chick apart. That's not envy. They just can't let it go. I used to work for a dude that's a former Navy SEAL. And it just took me all but 3 seconds to be like, oh shit, you could whoop my ass. And you could kill me from like any distance. And then I just got over it and got on with my work.
Your message serious. All right, attention vegans. All right, soon to be vegan.
Commercial. All right, hold on.
That say that I only watched initially because she was fine or she was sexy or she looked good, but then they say that they stayed for the message. So I think it's a little bit of both. Then you have men also that say, I'm just watching because she looks good. So it's a combination.
I'm How does your husband feel about this?
That's coming out of nowhere. You see that? You see that? You see, y'all don't understand what's going on because you got to think like them. You got to think like them. Basically, what she's saying is hide your sexy ass. She's basically saying hide your sexy. Mute your sexy. Your sexy is unnerving to me. Your husband should feel some type of way about it. She's trying to encourage her husband to feel some type of way about it. That man do not care. I'm gonna be honest. And I said this before on my show. It turns me on knowing other men want to hit it. I like knowing that you want to hit it and you can't. I feel like I'm eating a meal in front of the homeless. Like, you can't have it, but I can. And that makes me feel better. And I bet you that's how her husband feels. And it don't matter because it's none of your business. He's happy with her sexy online, and that's okay. You see that? And notice that this is the second time they had this conversation. This is the second time that DNieka had to speak on it, that people are watching me for the message.
My husband, he's very supportive, and I'm so glad. I'm so lucky that he is not the jealous type of guy, and he's never been the controlling type. I will say this though. He would like for me to, you know what I mean? And I scaled it back a lot because
what do you mean scale what back? What scale what back?
Like, for instance, he doesn't like when I wear like shorts and stuff. So I compromise with that. I start wearing shorts.
And that's for him. That's for him. It's not for you, Tasha. It's not for you. And what do you think's going to happen, huh? What do you think is going to happen? There's nothing that's going to happen that's going to even it out for you. There's nothing she can do that will make you comfortable. I actually seen her do an episode in a garbage bag and she was still hotter. Listen, you're not going to take it down. You're not going to even the playing field. It's just never going to be even. Live with that. Yeah, it's a form of dirty macking. Stefan says, Tasha delusional. I wouldn't even want her phone number. I mean, yeah, she's not everybody's cup of tea. But the talking, you better take your ass in a room and put it down. No, nobody wants. Well, there are guys who accept that because they just look at it as a sexual opportunity. A lot of brothers are wired not to say no to sexual opportunity under any circumstance. Under any circumstance. But you don't just take it because it's there. Let me see. I stopped wearing shorts on my live stream. Okay, good. He didn't like that. LOL. Other than that, he good. Yeah. So if he don't like it, then that's the person you worry about.
Shorts, or when I went online.
Okay.
And it's just he would like for me to again scale it back a little bit, which I did. Now, Tasha, I'm still maturing, all right? And so I'm learning to just cover up even more as I go. But sometimes, you want to be a little free, you know what I mean? But,
Hold on. Okay. So leave Tasha alone. She was cool for the most part. That's not cool. DNieka, see, she's cool to you. You're her guest. This is her show and everything like that. And she's cool to you and you're a woman. She's not cool to the nigga. She's saying, get your ass in that room and put it down. The stuff she was saying was not cool. And this is just an observation of the interview. This has nothing to do with her as a person. The interview, she's saying uncool stuff. She's saying you gotta stay. You don't have a choice to leave. Now take your ass in the room and put it down. That is not cool. That is so not cool. That is so not cool. And I don't care if Chloe Bailey says some crap like that. That is not cool.
But to answer your question, how does my husband feel? I feel like he's very supportive of it. He lets me do and make my own decisions, and that's what I really respect about him.
Well, he got some competition out here, so I mean, hey, look. Well, listen, I mean, I feel like the ball is in your court. You know what I'm saying? Mine too. Like you want.
Oh God, the ball is in your court. No, the balls are between his legs. See, this is the thing. She's thinking from the point of view of a woman who seeks power and leverage over a man. Woman ain't got no damn balls. He got all the balls. The ball is in your court. Why do you want balls? See, this is what I'm talking about. Constantly trying to leverage power out of a dude. She's not even thinking like that. The nigga's not even thinking like that. She's trying to instill this thinking into her more attractive brain. That's what she's trying to do. She's trying to inject thinking like you do realize that you have options. She knows she has options and she chose her husband. What the? Oh, until you niggas shooting your shot in the deal, what do you think is going to happen? Ignorant bastards? What do you think is going to happen? She's happily married and crap like that. That's why she put you on blast in her timelines for doing some crap like that. You got options. Just so you know, you can leverage this to your husband. Is basically what she's getting at. She's basically trying to get her to try to leverage shit out of her husband. I want an extra rose on Valentine's Day or whatever you're trying to leverage. Like, no, what the hell? That is why she is better than you. She's better at being a woman than you are. Of the hierarchy of women, she is at the upper middle. At the very top is the pick me grandmother plus. And by plus, I mean great grandmother and great great grandmother. That's at the top of the feminine hierarchy, followed by the pick me wife mother, followed by the pick me wife. And at the very bottom of the feminine hierarchy is women with no hair telling men to go in the room and put it down. God damn it. She outrank you. She's better at being a woman.
To get out here acting up, my DMs are full, you know. Now, are they gonna measure up to you? I mean, that's rare, you know, to find a man that's like your perfect mate and understands you. So
yeah, like my husband also knows, like he has me on lock. Okay. You know.
Exactly. And that's why he is a secure, confident man who's not going to tolerate a chick coming and saying, you know, you got competition. Look at my DMs. He's not going to tolerate no crap like that because he's a secure and confident man. I don't have to put up with no garbage like that. You know, look, trying to leverage a dude. You think we don't know? We know. You think I think that I'm the only man on the planet that want to fuck my girl? Fuck you.
So it's not like I'm going anywhere.
Okay.
It's like very nowhere. Like in my mind.
I learned from my big mamas and stuff, my auntie, you know, my grandma, them, they said, don't never tell no man they got you. Because then when they got you, you know what happens. They feel like they can do any motherfucking thing because they got you.
He can do any motherfucking thing. That's what submission is. That's what submission is. It means that he can do anything he want to do. That's what that means. She knows that he knows that. She's comfortable with that. Being comfortable with that realization is that. Man. Y'all see the power exchange that's going on here. Y'all see the I like to leverage and control men, and I want you to like to leverage and control men. But DNieka is like, you know, I am perfectly comfortable with him being in control and him knowing that he is in control. And this is the difference between a pick-me and a not pick-me, which is why if you ain't fucking pick-me's, you ain't fucking shit. If you ain't fucking pick-me's, you that dude. You the one who, when she say, you better take your ass in the room and put it down, you take your ass in the room and put it down. That's you. That's what happens when you ain't fucking pick-me's.
But if you keep them on just a little bit.
She said it. Y'all hear that? If you keep them on the leash, y'all hear that? Y'all hear this? Y'all hear this? Pick this cotton. Pick this cotton. She said it. She said, if you keep him on the, she had the audacity here in Black History Month to say, if you keep him on the leash. Y'all hear this talk? She's talking keeping the man on the leash. If you keep him on the leash, you are talking to the woman who wrote the book on submission, talking about keeping men on a leash, on a goddamn leash. Look at this. Look at this. Take it in. Take it in. This is you. Men and boys, this is you. The boy here is on a pre-leash. This is you. You better go in that field and put it down. This is you. This is how she see you. If you ain't effing pygmies, you ain't effing shit.
I could have no channel like yours. They wouldn't fucking like me because I'll be like, listen.
Of course you can't. How you gonna have a channel that teaches submission when you aren't submissive? When you try to keep men on leashes?
We go at tit for tat. You want to cheat? Bitch, watch me fuck all your friends.
What the hell? What the hell? You want to cheat? So that's your punishment? That's your punishment. Watch me fuck all your friends. Y'all see this? This is madness. This is madness. Y'all hear this? Y'all hear the thinking that is in this woman's brain. Y'all hear that? She has an overwhelming desire to check a man. I need to check him. I need to go tit for tat. How you gonna go tit for tat when I ain't got no tits or tats? Get out of here. What is wrong with you?
Yes.
Whoa. That went left really quick.
DNieka was just shocked. Like, what the hell? And when she said that it went left because it had nothing to do with the conversation. Like, look at how the last thing I remember DNieka saying was, my boyfriend got me, or my husband got me. He got me. That's what this ring means. It means that I'm his and he owns me. That's what that means. And she just came out of nowhere like, I'd fuck all your friends. What the heck? The nigga's like, where did that come from? This came out of left field. This is in the back of her brain. She walks around thinking that all the time. And she just seen an opportunity to surface it. She walks around with in her brain like, yep. If he gets out of line, I'm gonna fuck all his friends. Yep. She has that in her brain 24/7. She be like sleeping in the middle of the night, sleep talking like, fuck your friends. Yeah, fuck them all. You just stay in line. Take your ass in the room and put it down. That's what goes on in her subconscious mind at all times. At any given time. I bet you her husband don't even say what you thinking anymore. Like, honey, what you thinking? If you step out of line, I'm gonna fuck all your friends. Like, what the hell? This is your life. If you are not with a pick-me, you're not with shit. This will be your existence. Fellas, listen at me good. You will be on a leash, like she said.
Hey, look, you want to cheat? I can cheat. See, men think they're the only ones that can cheat. They think they're the only ones that can go out here and fuck up. Bitch, I can do the same shit, okay?
Oh my God. Are you proud of that? Listen, I'm pretty sure that if you configure everything right, you could pee standing up too. But do you really want to? What's wrong? Why do you want my penis so bad? And I'm not talking about in you. I'm talking about why do you want to do the things that I do with my penis so bad? This is madness. Look on DNieka's face. This is how a pick me looks when just complete and total madness comes about. Look at that. And look, she got an arm out. She's explaining. She's explaining. Her man is watching this. He's watching this. He heard this before. He heard her say stuff like this before and all the time.
And it'll hurt you worse than how it hurt me, because we get over shit a lot quicker. You know what I'm saying? We can go to.
Why do you get over that quicker? And why are you trying to play who hurts who worse? Of course, it hurts him worse. It's wronger when women cheat. GC, you're a misogynist. Call me what you want to. It's wronger when women cheat. Damn it.
Sleep. They take a couple days. We're going to be back into the routine, But for a man, it hits the prize. So I just had to put that out there. So you.
Why? Why did you have to put that out there? Did she ask? Did DNieka Marie ask? Hey, you ever think that if your man gets out of line, you'd fuck all his friends? Why did you have to put that out there? It literally had nothing to do with the topic at hand. This is just a crazy crap that goes on in your brain all the time. You take comfort in security, knowing, like those people. I protect my home, but those people with like an entire gun rack and an arsenal and stuff like that. I take comfort at night knowing I have all this. What the hell? And the fact that you mention it all the time.
You are very well, but I was just told, don't never tell a man that he got you, though. Don't do that.
She already did. She already did. And he wouldn't get her until he got her. And that's the problem with simps. Why y'all be getting women y'all ain't got? You got on one knee, gave her a ring, and you still ain't got her? What's wrong with you? Oh, I ain't got her. At any given time, she could sleep with all my friends. So I never really got her. This is unbelievable. Her husband's listening to this.
See, I feel like I'm dealing with a different breed of man. Like he's not the average typical guy. I feel like I really did luck up with my husband. Like he's not the average guy. Like he really does. I feel like he appreciates me, and he honors me. He loves me. He respects me. And so I really do feel.
Because me and my husband, it be going down in the paint up in here. I'm like, oh, you can go to the strip club. Watch me go.
What?
So in the backdrop of DNieka talking about her functional relationship, you decide to highlight the dysfunction of your own. You can go to the strip club, watch me go. Like, unless you're going to work at the one I'm going to, I don't want to hear about crap like that. And why do you go? Why do you go? I'm not talking about you, Tasha K. I'm talking about all women. Why do you go? The men that go to strip clubs, they go to look at the women that they can't really fuck. But you, why do you go?
How long you been married? How long you been married?
I've been married since 2017. We've been together since 2012.
Okay.
I've been together 10 years, and she's only like 30.
So I've been married 16 years. So
that's a long time.
Yeah, right. So I'm just like, and we play a lot, we joke a lot, but it's just like, oh, I don't care.
There's no joke. You talking about get on your leash and get in the room and put it down? That's no joke. He's just laughing to not cry.
Go to the strip club, do what you want to do, be a man. You know, I'm not the petty type. Like I'm not the insecure type. If my husband going to a strip club, there's nothing like it. When I say it, I don't even think about it because a lot of women will feel insecure about that. Oh my God, it's like you look at other men, you just don't tell them. So, and I see like in your commentary.
What was that? What was that? Now you see how much more respectful DNieka is about her husband and Tasha K. You look at other men, question mark, and it was like no response to that. Like I'm not gonna dignify that with a response. But you see, that was an attempt of entrapment. That was an attempt at an entrapment. It's like that girlfriend to say, "Hey, so you want a threesome with my friend Corbin?" It's a trap, and then they couldn't fall for it.
Like you put it out there like that. Like don't don't what is my the conversation about you and the video is like she regrets leaving you when the grass is not greener on the other side. That right there. That video, I said, oh, okay, okay. Because it's true. It's true. A lot of women will try to level up or thinking that they're leveling up only to figure out, well, shit, I should have stayed and dealt with and figured the situation out, especially if he ain't cheating, especially
Right.
if he going to work. He may not be as flashy as the other one. You know what I'm saying? But I just, what was your vision behind that video that went viral?
Well, I get a lot of emails and inboxes and stuff. I have a lot of my subscribers email me some of their questions and things that they may be going through. And I believe I got an email that inspired that conversation. And it really does happen a lot. You know, a lot of women today, we do start to, second guess our relationships because of the new world that we live in, to where you're constantly comparing your relationship to people online, and you start to feel a certain type of way about your own relationship. Like, well, dang, well, she's able to do X, Y, and Z. Why aren't I doing this? Why isn't my man doing this? And we're constantly comparing each other or comparing.
So I didn't see the video. I might check it out, but didn't see the video. But I get what she's saying. It's kind of like the 80-20 rule, or a different type of 80-20 rule where, a guy's giving you 80% of the stuff you want, and you assume that the next guy give you that extra 20. But, he has his own things, and sometimes you wind up with less. So I get that, like, don't go chasing waterfalls. I get that.
Comparing ourselves to other people in their lives and their relationships, their marriages, and so on and so forth, to where we can start feeling like my marriage is not measuring up. And so they see their friends out here going on trips with their men. Who knows what happens in order for them to actually be able to do that? Or on the
most
flip
women
side,
most women plan vacations anyway, so I don't. It's not like women
right,
out here planning vacations.
right.
I just had to throw that.
But on
That was complete. So somebody said she might have been drunk, maybe, but that was a little bit out of left field because she's talking about like going on the vacation, going on trips with their men, and she's talking about who planned it. Like, I get it. Planning trips is something that women are good at. It's like, okay, that would. I wanted. There's a lot of times in this conversation thus far that I wanted to see where DNieka was going with this, like, and the segues are extreme and often unnecessary, in my opinion.
top of that, let's go to the thought culture though, real quick. You see all of your body thought cake friends out here.
And that's what I mean. You see, now she's talking about the thought culture, but I want to see what her point on the vacation thing was. I kind of seen where she was going with it, but I want her to close that point, to punctuate that sentence.
Here, being cash app coochie queens, and you're like, oh well, dang, maybe I should be doing that too. They're living the hot girl summer life, and you may be bored in your relationship, and so you go out there trying to be a thotty thot cake, trying to be like your friends and have a hot girl summer, and you end up leaving behind something that was a good thing because you felt like it was better over there, and it's usually not. You should just stay where you are, have that man to love you, take care of you, have that comfort. And a lot of us we confuse. I'm not gonna say we confuse. I will say this: we start to become bored when things become predictable or routine, or we feel safe and secure. And we have to really get out of that mentality of feeling that way. It's okay that you guys don't do a whole.
This is wise words, especially from a woman who's been with the guy that she's currently married to for over a decade. So these are very wise words. Just because you get placed, it doesn't mean that the excitement that you seek will fulfill you.
Whole bunch of different things. Sometimes that's better than being out in the streets, or you know what I mean, just dealing with a whole bunch of different people and energies and getting involved in things that in the long run don't mean anything in the end. So a lot of us do that in our relationships. We do feel like, oh, I can go over there and it's more fun over there, and then it backfires, and then you want to go back to where you were. And Tasha, I've seen situations where women have done that, and their man moves on. It was like, okay, well, you want to do what you wanted to do. You thought it was better over there. I moved on. And so you can't go back. And sometimes we don't get those second chances. So a lot of us just need to appreciate what we have instead of always thinking that it's going to be better on the other side. Sometimes it's not. A lot of times it's not.
Now, in one of your videos, you ruffled some feathers when you said that men should leave and it's grounds for divorce if, quote, women withhold sex in relationships. Do you believe that? You still did?
Absolutely. You could tell that she brought that particular quote up because she has a problem with it. But absolutely. And I had this discussion on Chantel's thing. Listen, unless you have like a gynecology / dental / proctology appointment on the same damn week, I don't want to hear your excuses.
Did you really mean that?
Was that the video with my sis, Six the Goddess?
Yes.
She came up with that.
Oh.
All right. However, I'm not mad at it.
Okay.
When a man signs up to marry you, okay, that means that you're supposed to be devoted to him. He married you for a reason. He married you because you were given great sex. He married you because you were a great support system. He married you because you look good. He married you because you cooked. Whatever reason that man got with you and put a ring on it, you have to continue to maintain and sustain that. You just can't say, oh well, I got the man now and then fall off. And a lot of men, Tasha, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of us become really comfortable in our marriages and our relationships once we start to feel like I got him. Now earlier you talked about your grandmother, and she said, don't ever tell a man you got him. Well, when we feel like, oh, we have a man, we can start to slack off too. Like, oh well, I got you now. I don't need to get no head no more. I don't need to cook nothing no more. I got you. And so I feel like that is something that should be upheld. Like you need to uphold your end of the bargain. I do feel like if a woman does start to slack off and she's no longer providing you with the same perks and luxuries and benefits that you signed up for in the beginning, maybe you should be able to leave her.
I do. That was very well put. I want to hear the response. I want to hear if she addressed what was said and then follow up with her opinion. I want to hear if she does that.
What about premenopausal and menopause? Because
Yep, I know it. I know it. She's going to bring up like one outlier situation, and then see, peep the tactic. Peep the tactic. So basically the statement is you should have sex whenever he wants it, and then the woman comes with the one outlier situation where it may be justified to deny, and then they use that as justification for further denials. Premenopausal and postmenopausal, that's something that happens like once in a woman's life. Well, really, like after menopause you're always going to be postmenopausal. So yeah, but this is like a one off in the entire lifetime of you having a vagina. I've never been with a pre or postmenopausal woman for that sake, but you know, I got a feeling that I won't give a shit.
I have friends that are going into their 40s. Of course, they don't have the best of diets and don't take care. I believe you can kind of ward off menopause for a long time because, like I said, my grandma was getting pregnant in her 60s. Okay, she had no problem.
Okay. Okay, and it's being vegan around here.
Eat your collard greens and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Exercise. But what about those who
Ladies, don't do that. And fellas, don't go for that. The chick come up to you and say, "Yeah, I'm 60 years old, but I eat my collard greens." Don't assume that there's a bunch of eggs down there. What, do collard greens have human eggs in them? And instead of it going to your stomach, it goes to the ovaries? What kind of crap is that? Ladies, if you are single, proceed with your dating life as if you have three eggs left in your uterus. That is what you, or in your ovaries. That's what you do. Don't listen to crap like that, thinking that you have some magic collard green reproductive system. You behave accordingly. And every single month you lose a baby opportunity. Listen to no crap like this.
who are premenopausal or menopausal, and you know when the testosterone drops significantly in a woman and her estrogen rises, you know she cannot perform. There's no desire to have sex. Do you feel that?
What the hell? Absence of desire is not the same as inability to have sex. What, does it close up? Is there like a zipper or something that happens during menopause? And that's what she's getting at. She's saying that, and this is how she opposites DNieka. She is basically saying that if I don't desire it, it's not going to happen. Menopause or not, if I do not desire it, it's not going to happen. Sex is contingent on my desire to have it. Always. F your desires. And if I ever desire it and you don't, you better take your ass in the room and put it down. I'm going to fuck all your friends. That is what she says.
After putting in.
See, I want y'all to hear this. See, y'all got to hear this and think about it with your brain, with your brain. I want you to hear with your brain because it starts off simple and it starts off innocent. Like chicks say stuff like, like, well, what about pre and post menopause? And you just standing there like, yeah, I get it, pre and post menopause and blah 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 blah. Basically, it's a gateway. You give an inch, they take your whole dick. It's a gateway.
And 20 years of marriage, a man has the right to divorce because their woman is going through a chemical.
And she's throwing stuff in there. So now she's trying to grill. Now she's trying to grill DNieka, and she's throwing stuff in there. So you saying after 20 years of marriage and blah 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 blah, and a woman is going through blah blah blah, then that's okay under these very unique and specific circumstances? Y'all hear this? Let's wait for a response. And then that'll be the last of that. Well, no, I give 20 more minutes.
Hormonal imbalance and it's severe.
Do you have a mouth, Tasha?
And that's the response. Exactly. That's the response. That is a true pick me response. What the hell was all that testosterone and hormonal balance and blah 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 zipper pussy blah blah blah? Like, what was all that talk? Like, it didn't make no damn sense.
I'm sorry.
But it ain't any man will tell you the mouth don't make up for the pussy now.
That's not the question. The question is, are you able to satisfy your man? If so, then yeah.
Yeah,
look, when it's a will, it's a way. Like you said, you better go get you some.
There is no will.
Collard greens. Look, get your smoothies together. Put you some maca powder. It's a will, it's a way. All right.
Okay.
So
you don't believe in like under no circumstances a woman should ever.
Now, I mean, if you're on your deathbed or something like that, but anything else like.
Yeah, exactly. She's reaching. So she reached for the straw woman situation before, the pre and post menopause and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That didn't work. So now she's asking DNieka for a straw, woman situation. Like, she might as well be up there like, what if I have pussy cancer? Like, what if I just have that?
Come on, sis.
What about your period? Now you do take a break on your period, do you?
I got them out.
Oh my God.
Y'all hear this? Y'all hear the difference in brain? Y'all hear the difference in brain? And this is why, if you ain't effing pick-me's, you ain't effing shit. You just that dude on a leash being told when to go in the room and put it down, hoping that it's not on her period. That's not effing shit.
She says, "No, listen, my husband gonna divorce me now." He's like, "See, that's what I'm talking about." He gonna be like, "That's the serious." Look, I take my rest. God gave me a period for a reason, for a period to abstain from sex as a moment.
What the hell? What the hell? God gave me a period for a reason. Now, I'm not going to, mix science. Well, actually, I am. I'm about to mix science and theology together for a moment and say that there's a whole bunch of reasons that period exists, not for you to abstain from sleeping with your husband. That is the thinking. And DNieka, I love you, and Tasha loves you too, because we all do, So I'm trying to be. I'm trying to go easy. I am. I'm trying, but this is just so. This is just so odd. Dang. This is just so like, gosh. Oh, it's like when you're a kid in that extreme sour candy. This is just like, dang. God gave me a period for a reason, and that reason just so happens to be to not fuck my husband. Oh, gosh. I think it's safe to say that Tasha K's husband ain't getting no action. You think? If you ain't fucking pick-me's, you ain't fucking. This is your life. This is your life. If you ain't fucking pick-me's, a chick waiting on her period so she can not fuck you. That is your life when you marry non-pick-me's. Fellas, do you hear me? This is a caution / yield sign / like fallen rock sign / dip. Like every warning, hazard, sign that exists. This is all at once. This will be your life. I cannot imagine being stuck with a chick that said, God gave me this, so I don't have to fuck you right now. That is your life. Oh, God. Oh, God. You know that statue, the thinker? That's what he's thinking about. That is the look of a man in statue form, like, how in the hell did I find myself in this situation? Every month she gets her cycle. She's like, sent from heaven. I can't say it like the song. Sent from heaven. Like she thinks it's sent from heaven. She thinks that happens is sent from heaven.
If you're on your deathbed or something like that, but anything else, like, come on, sis.
What about your period? Now you do take a break on your period, do you?
I got them out, Tasha.
Oh my God.
What? That's perfectly sound logic.
She says, no, listen, my husband gonna divorce me now. He's like, see, that's what I'm talking about. He's gonna be like, that's the spirit.
Look, see, Tasha.
That means that, because I could tell you're older than her. That means that you didn't realize that you had a mouth. You've been married 16 years. That's 16 periods that he went without because you didn't realize you had a mouth.
I take my rest. God gave me a period for a reason, for a period to abstain from sex as a moment of meditation because
a moment of meditation? Meditate this penis in your mouth. What the hell? That's your moment of meditation. Your mind can wander as long as your head's a bobbing. In fact, when you meditate, you're humming anyway. Yeah. Meditate that. Moment of meditation.
I'm not the nicest during my period. You understand?
But Tasha, with me, I feel like I get more aroused when I'm on my period because it's like, damn,
I do too.
It is true, and that crap is disgusting. That crap is disgusting that they were made that way. Because y'all have been in a situation where that's when she's just trying to give it up. Like she's just horny and like she just, but you like, nah, I don't want to mess up my good towels and stuff like that, and some of it gonna spill on the carpet anyway. Like, I hate that. I hate that they seduce, and some chicks don't care, and they want it when they want it, and they want it on that day, but it's all kind of nasty. And I did a couple times, I'm not gonna lie, but it's all kind of nasty. It's just all kind of wrong.
But I'm selfish. If I can't get anything out of it, I'm not gonna do it. Because
if I can't get anything out of it, I'm not gonna do it.
I'm gonna be wanting to come too.
And see, this is for you big JC people out there. This is the thinking that you breed. You facilitate this thinking. You get what you get what you get when I give it to you.
And I can't because I'm on my period. You just walk away happy, and I'm like, yo, what about me?
Tasha, guess what?
What do you mean, what about you? It's not about you. What, do you have a penis or something? Why is it about your happiness?
You got something that you can plug it up with and then tickle a little something. You can plug it up and tickle.
Look at that. See that's why they be dragging you online. That's why the women be coming after your
It's the will, it's the way. Okay.
Is there anything that you agree with when it comes to women in our ways in relationships? Is there anything?
I'm just saying, like, okay, if you're on and you getting a little bit of, you can plug it in, and do a little tickle. And then you got yours too. You know what I mean? So it's not like you're being deprived. Like I said, if you need an issue off, then resolve that issue, sweetheart. But then again, Tasha, you talking to the number one pick me. You know, they call me a pick me, a mammy, whatever. You know, that's my name as well. So
I don't believe that. I just believe, like, were you raised around a lot of men?
my father raised me, and I have an older brother.
Okay. See, I was raised around a lot of men as well. All my cousins, I have two fathers. People don't believe it. I literally do have a stepfather and my real father, and they both coexist together and have made me into the woman that I am today. And of course, you know, my mom, my aunt.
All right. I don't care about Blizz Blast here, man. So I'm gonna cover the rest of this sometime this weekend if I can find the time. I'll cover the rest of this. We're about halfway in it anyway. Speaking of halfway in it, her husband is not no way in it. Yeah. All right, let me drop the link. All right, let's see here. All right, and let me write down the time. 33 minutes and 25 seconds. All right. So, yeah, Snuggles, I dropped the link. And yeah, tell me what y'all think. Was I being overly harsh on Tasha, or was I being overly generous on DNieka? I think I gave a fair and balanced assessment. Now, I am a lot more familiar with DNieka's work than I am Tasha's work, and I like DNieka's work. So maybe some bias came out. Y'all could check me on that, you know. But I think it was a fair assessment considering all that was said thus far. And it was a lot. It was a lot. Better get in the room and put it down. God gave me this to abstain. I'm selfish, and if it's not, you know, if I'm not getting mine, I don't want you to have yours. What kind of crap is that? It's just all around bad. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. That means that every month you're getting less than the none that you got you know, during the non-period days of the month. That's what that means. DNieka say what I missed. So you missed a portion where she said, God sent me this period, so I don't have to do my husband. And you missed my reaction to that. And you could rewind it, but you could just imagine how I reacted to a woman saying, God gave me this period as a time for meditation and reflection on not fucking my husband. That's what essentially she was saying. That's what you missed. My reaction to those words. And fellas, this is what I mean when I say you ain't fucking if you ain't fucking pygmies, you ain't fucking shit. You literally ain't on her period and in the time before and after. Oh, but period, menopause, basically, I just, and see, here's the thing. And notice, fellas, notice how earlier she was talking like, you know, oh yeah, you know, because I like the D. I like that D. I want that D. I can't live without that D. Then why are you looking for reasons not to receive it? Oh, my testosterone is high. Oh, my hair hurt. Oh, my fingernails hurt. You know, I can't do it. My teddy bear is pregnant. Like, why are you looking for excuses? Why? Because her desire for power exceeds her desire for pleasure. I'm going to repeat that. Her desire for power exceeds her desire for pleasure. Meaning that she is using her desire for power, sexual leverage is a form of power if used on the weak as a means to leverage the man. Basically, it's giving him enough water to keep him alive, but not quench his thirst. That is what she's doing. Like, just enough to function. Fellas, this is your life. You see, it's not about sex. Quite frankly, if I've been with the same chick for 20 years, I probably wouldn't even want it. It's not about the sex with these chicks. It's not. This is about power and leverage. And that is why what DNieka and Six was saying, that a man should leave a woman who does that. He definitely should. Why? Because she is playing power games, and you will not effectively have a functioning household when there's a constant power struggle. But I don't even think that there's a power struggle. I think that he just threw his hands in the air, and by he I mean her husband, and say, you know something? I acquiesce. You say wait for my period's over, and you say go into the room and put it down, and I say sure. That is the new power dynamic. That and ladies, do you want that? Do you want a man who is so beaten by your sexual manipulations that do you want a man that you could beat into submission through sexual manipulations? And do you know what your relationship is based on at that point? Your relationship is based on the hopes and dreams that another woman won't come around and offer him a little bit more water to quench his thirst than you are. That is what your relationship, it's on a thread. It's on a thread. And by on a thread, I'm talking about that thread that come out of the tampon. It's nasty, but that's the thread I'm talking about. Once he does a woman on her period, he's leaving. Your relationship is held together by the fact that other women won't do him on his period. Oh crap. Oh crap. We have a pick me hater here. Now, look at this chick. Look at this chick. I want to show y'all something. Hold on. Let's see. Where is it at? I hope it's not that folder. Hold on. I want to show y'all something. Wire drops. Is this it? Nope, that's not it. That's not it. All right, let's see. All right, give me a second. Hit the like button. All right, you lucky. You lucky I can't find it right now. You know I don't like you. You lucky. You lucky. You know your husband is an embarrassment to humanity. And I got the evidence up. And you know you don't want to see the picture of your nasty ass couch and your shitty ass trailer and your simple 40-year-old skateboard husband. You know that I have that and you don't want me to display it because I will. You know if I find it, I will. You're lame. You're lame. That is your life, and you're telling happily married people how to live theirs. You're miserable. And you want to know why you're miserable? Because you're not pick me enough. And it eats at you. It eats at you to know that this is what my pickmicity has yielded me. In fact, I'm gonna do you one better. I'm gonna do you one better. I can't find the thing. I can't find your husband, but I can find hers. So I'm gonna show you what you're missing and eat it. Eat it. I want you to eat it at your soul. I want you to feel it. I want you to let me show you something. Hold on. Show you what I'm talking about. Let's see. All right, scroll down. All right, where's the should I go to Instagram? Hold on. Where's Mr. Dope Discussions at? Hold on, I'll find it soon enough. All right, hit the like button while I do this. Dang, this just as hard to find as her dude. Dang. All right, well I can't find that either. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right. It's about damn time. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, look at it. Look at it. Squeeze it, squash it. Gamma, gamma. Look at him. Look at it. Look at his glasses. Look at his hair. He got hair. And it's all kind of everywhere and stuff like that. What your man got? He on some Homer Simpson shit. Look at what is underneath his hand right there. Let me show you something. Look at that. You want to know what's not there? Fat. It's not fat there. He's not fat as hell. And you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Don't you wish your boyfriend had his damn hair? Don't you wish he didn't have fat down there? Don't you? Don't you? Don't you wish your husband had a high IQ? Don't you wish he knew how to do the do? Don't you? Don't you? So while you sitting around trying to hate on pygmies, check your own situation. I'm definitely going to find your husband so people can know what I'm talking about. Damn it. Let's see. It's this one. I think I already clicked that earlier. Yeah, I'm definitely going to find that picture because you piss me off every time you come here. You really do. All right. Okay, hold on. We have a special guest, so I'm gonna go longer. Hey, DNieka, what's going on?
What's going on?
Nothing much. Nothing much. How did you think I was being fair or unfair on the review? Be straight with me. I know you made me a little harsh. I was a little harsh on your friend, but
no, you had fair critiques of her, you know. But let me say this: Tasha K did surprise me though. Like on a you didn't get to the end though, did you?
Towards the ending? No. I think like 2 minutes more of this.
And yeah. So towards the ending, you know, she was more like on cold, as you would say. You know, in the beginning, I think she was more so trying to test me to see how authentic I was. I think that's what it was. She was just trying to kind of test me out or throw curveballs here and there just to get my reaction. But that's the thing about being authentically you and organic. Like, it's nothing nobody can throw at you to throw you off course. Like, no, this is who I am.
Well, I think it was
yeah,
that. Oh, go for it.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, you had fair critiques, but you know, it's Tasha K, you know, and a lot of women may feel the same ways that she feels. It's just what we're dealing with today. But like I said, I give Tasha K a lot more credit, especially towards the ending, because you know she was more in alignment with a lot of the things that I was saying or things that I would say.
Now, do you think it was alignment, or do you think that it's more like, okay, I don't think that I'm going to sway her to the dark side, so let me just get down with the program. It's she's unbreakable. I'm not going to convince her to deny her husband, at any time. So, do you think that she just, like threw the hands up in the air, like, okay, I can't break this one, so? Because
I don't know.
I kind of
don't
got
know.
the impression that she was more trying to convince you of her way of thinking her life. Like, don't you know that you can leverage your husband? The fact that, you have people in your DMs and stuff like that. And, she went on to say that that's what she does. Don't you know that you can do this too? That's.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about perspective, I guess. If you want to look at it from that lens, you could. But I don't know. It's hard to tell. All I know is I was being organically me and authentically me. So what people's intentions were, I don't know. But for the most part, I thought Tasha K was cool, especially towards the ending. In the beginning, I think she was just trying to throw curveballs just to test me out, get my reaction. Or maybe she was being real and that was truly how she was genuinely feeling.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Now, let me ask you this. If you weren't married to your husband, would you ever marry this guy? Because you did Reborn Doll Playmate. So
see, in Game Changer, she's the one that made me come up. Okay.
This is your husband.
This is her husband.
This is her husband. And that's their couch. So take a look. Take a look. That's the couch. That's the Christmas tree. That's the one ornament. They only got one ornament on the Christmas tree.
And you know what, Game Changer, this is the reason why I don't even take a lot of the things that these females say personally, because a lot of it is just coming from an empty place of feeling like they're not fulfilled or they don't have the life that they want to live or whatever the case was. And so I don't understand this. And then she's talking about, why would I want to have a fully black baby? Like, are you serious? Why wouldn't I want to give birth to something that reflects me and my people? Like, that's a dumb question. Like, it's a lot of self-hate that a lot of these females have, which is once again why it's kind of hard for me to even take them seriously or take offense to what they're saying. I mean, it's coming from a female with, what the hell? Like, she's talking about baby hairs, and it's like she has somebody entire unit of hair on top of her head talking about baby hairs and looking mixed and having the real thing. And then on top of that, her husband doesn't even have any damn hair. So how do you know what your baby will come out with or not come out with? So it's just like, it's just a mess. Like, look at this.
Yeah.
Look at, what is this?
That's him.
Cotton candy, sweet and low. Let me see the Tootsie Roll. Like, what kind of cotton candy ass picture is this?
Yep. And it's recent too, because he got a mask on. This isn't like from 10, 20 years ago. Nope. This
looks like Soulja Boy circa 2007. Like, this is pathetic. Yet these females have the most to say about me, what I choose to do with my life. And all I'm doing is trying to help, and be balanced and be fair. But that's too much. That's too much to ask for, I guess. But okay.
Exactly. I mean, and so when they talk about divesting and swirling, I mean, it seems like it's more about convincing you. And from what I noticed, and that's through the interview today, and just the woman in the chat room and stuff, you're doing the right thing and the thing that makes you happiest. But because it's making your husband happy, they want to discourage you from doing that. They don't want black men in particular, to have complete happiness.
That's the ultimate issue. The ultimate issue is, it's not lopsided to where the woman is in the position of power and dominance. If I had a relationship to where I was out here saying that, you know, I'm married to a man and he worships me and he bows down to me and he does what I say, what I want, whatever the case is, they would have no issue. They would be like, oh yeah, you a queen, you a real women's. But since I'm not doing that and I'm bringing a more balanced perspective, and most importantly, I'm presenting roles to them, it's like, oh, well, we have to discredit her, we have to abandon her, we have to attack her, bring her down because she's not on code with us and what our plight is, which is to be in the dominant position and have power over the man instead of having a relationship of balance and duality and respect. That's really what it boils down to. You can't have that. And they don't believe that it exists with Black men for whatever reason. And I don't understand why, because I mean, it's examples all around us, but they just choose to focus on the negative elements or the negative results that may be presented out there as far as Black men and Black women are concerned. They don't highlight the fact that when they go and swirl and divest, that those women are ending up 6 feet deep, or they're ended up missing, or they're getting just as abused, quote unquote, as they are with the Black men. Like I find it very funny that they strategically choose not to highlight those instances, but they would want to romanticize that and play that up and act like it doesn't exist. When it comes to Black men, they're absolutely trash, they're garbage, they're dangerous, they're conquered, and all of these other dumb things. And I'm just like, you guys sound stupid. You really do. And you look stupid. Like, and your man looks stupid. So it's just, girl, you could have kept this. You could have kept this to yourself.
You're telling me that, you know, you haven't looked at that 40-year-old guy in a skate park and said, I wanted to marry him?
Girl, like, what is this? This is who you are divesting to, ma'am.
That is who she divested to. And that's what she suggests that others do. Worse than that, worse than her divesting into that, which is bad, that is what she suggests that others do. That's what she was suggesting that you do, that you should leave your king for, you know, whatever she had, whatever we just seen in the picture.
He looks like a serial killer. Like, why would I want to divest to that? He looks like a serial killer. And then, ma'am.
And this is her. And that
ma'am.
Yeah, exactly. So and they're trying to spread it. They're trying to get others to take this situation. It's really, really sad. You know, I'm not saying that there are not happy interracial couples, but when you do it out of spite, you leave yourself vulnerable to situations like this.
Exactly. And like I said, you can't even take these females seriously. They're just hurting, and ultimately I think that they are upset that we are showing and proving that healthy Black relationships and healthy Black men do exist, and you could have one, but you have to correct errors. You have to be in alignment with them. It's just not going to just happen by chance. Like, you have to do what's necessary to be the type of woman that they want to be with. And what's really crazy is they think that they can take these same kind of lifestyles and behaviors over to another man and they're going to tolerate it. No, they're not. And if they do, I mean, look at what you're going to get. Like, you're going to get the type of guy that looks like a serial killer, that has no hair, that is 2 inches away from a TV, and you know what I mean? Yeah. And you're going to get that. Like, that's what you're going to get. Somebody that ultimately looks like he needs you to survive. Like, that's your result. So I mean, either way, you might as well just correct the errors as far as being a more supportive, submissive, nurturing, caring, loving, understanding, patient woman. That way you will be appealing to any man, no matter what his race or background is, because you're going to have to do it anyway if you want a quality man. Okay, just period.
I agree. Now, let me ask you this. In the discussion.
Hold on, Game Changer. I am laughing at Myth. He says he looks like a great value Paul Wall, and I just could not agree more. Like, that was factual, spot on. Okay, but go ahead, Game Changer.
So yeah, I agree. It's a bad look. It's a bad look, Sarah. Like,
girl,
you have little room to talk about any like this. This is her husband. Like, that's her husband. What are you trying to convince her of anything for? Like, oh, and somebody asked, is she in a relationship? Yeah, this is her husband. They've been married for since 2017, and they got together in 2012. So yeah.
But see, Game Changer, you got to do my husband justice now. You gonna have to take it to the Instagram to show the package. You got to show the whole thing, okay?
Well, I don't
because
man's pecs. I'm not to judge my own. So, but yeah. Okay, I found the Instagram. Let me
yeah, you got to show like it's the chocolate for me.
like,
all right, now you can have your great value Paul Wall, but I prefer chocolate. I prefer a black man. It doesn't really matter the shade, but I chose chocolate for this, and it is what it is. And so y'all just stay over there with Pookie Paul Wall and let us thrive. Let us be great. Let us be great. It's no shade, no tea. And to answer your question, I would want to have a fully black baby because I'm a fully black woman, and so what the hell?
Yeah, that's a very odd question to have. I mean, like, why wouldn't?
Especially as a black woman answering that question, like,
yeah,
what?
Yeah, it's bad. But I wanted to talk to you about the power. While I bring up the Instagram, I want to talk to you about the power dynamic because there was definitely a lot of power undertones in the interview that you had. It did seem to me that she preferred power in the relationship over submission. And an example of that would be, when she was talking about how you could leverage your husband and, or no, she said that her grandmother, her big mama and everything told her not to admit when a man got you. And my assessment of that would be, okay, that's definitely a power play. You're using strategic silence or whatever you want to call it to not let a man know how much power he has in the relationship. But like, as I understand power is a means to an end, meaning that it's the ability to affect change, and the change itself is the end. Why do you think so many women want power in the relationship? Like, what's the end goal of it?
Honestly, I believe it's because a lot of women today are very insecure, and it's fear. It's fear-based. They don't want somebody to be able to leave them or replace them. And so ultimately, I feel like it boils down to control and feeling like that man will always need you, and he's not going to go anywhere. And I feel like that's their reason for wanting so much power and control within a relationship. That way they know they have that guy solidified in so many words. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's their ultimate goal, is just to have somebody there for them. Because like I said, and I had my discussion earlier when I was talking about miserable women. There's a lot of miserable women out here. Their ultimate fear is being alone. And so that's why they would want to be in a relationship to where they have all the power and all the control, because ultimately you're going to need me. You're going to be here with me. And if you're not here, then I have to face my misery and face myself by myself. And I don't want that. I need control over a man to keep him here, to make sure that I'll always have somebody to be there for me, because they know that they're toxic. Like, come on. Mm-hmm. Why else would you be here outside of the fact that you need me? So that's their goal, is to just have control over you so that you can stay.
Now, it's funny because it rarely works. It rarely, if ever, works. Mm-hmm. Like, I get it. You want that person that can't leave. It would be the equivalent to, what feminism was created for. And that is so women aren't put into a position or a relationship that they can't leave. So, they're doing what they were accusing men of the past, the third wave feminist era of doing, to the men, like, and her saying, go into the bedroom and put it down does sound like, a feminist, the beginning of a Lifetime original movie or something like that. It does sound like that thinking, but, not really harping on her specifically, just like, in general, I haven't seen that work because, women wind up single in situations like that. And from what I've noticed, women get into relationship with guys who accept these arrangements. And it's the woman is the one that files for divorce that, that leaves him, and then that's when the whole "you're dusty, you're this, this, and this." But it's like you chose him for that reason because you wanted power.
Yeah. But it's not natural to us, which is why it does ultimately backfire. You know, it's something within you that knows that that's not your natural role or your natural position. So either way, it's like a double-edged sword. It's like, yeah, you have somebody that needs you that will probably most likely be there for whatever amount of time, but you're not going to be emotionally fulfilled. And so naturally, you're going to want to seek a man out that is going to be able to be the leader and the provider and the protector in your life. And so it's just like one of those things to where, once again, it's a double-edged sword. Like you got to choose your poison, pick your poison, you know, because either way it's going to fail if you don't choose properly. If you don't choose the route of establishing those roles where the man is in the leadership position and he's the one that establishes the order and so on and so forth, like it's not going to work. So you might as well just do the right thing the first time. Is my whole point. But I guess that's just too logical.
Well, yeah. I think that. Well, let me ask you before I give my theory on it. But why do you think you didn't have that fear? Because as you describe it, it's based in fear. It's based in fear that a woman completely submits, and submission is giving your all. It's surrendering your all. And you get rejected from that. There is that fear because a woman who's not fully submitted and gets rejected, she can take comfort in the fact that he didn't reject the best of her. So I get that that's why they want this power and leverage. But why didn't you and why didn't other quote unquote pick me's fall for that? Why don't you feel you need power to keep your relationship going?
The thing is, by me trying to snag that power, that's going to push him away. He's going to leave me based upon me seeking that anyway. So why not just get in alignment? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, so the fear is him leaving me by me not being what I'm supposed to be or doing what I want to do. That's my back. So it's the reverse. It's the flip. It's like, well, I don't want him to leave me because he's a great man. He's providing for me. He's taking care of me. He established this great foundation for me to build upon. Like, I want to keep him around. So I have to do what's necessary to keep him around. And part of keeping him around is not trying to have a power dynamic or a position of power over him. So it's the same thing, just kind of like flips. You know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm able to articulate that properly.
No, you basically saying fear led you to submission as opposed to away from it. That's
yes. I mean, and it's not necessarily fear. It's just, well, I don't know. I don't know a better word.
Well, it's not fear, but worry or whatever you want to call it about not securing,
not having it. Right, yeah, right. So I guess we can use fear for now, but yeah, like that. It's just it's a different motive. You know what I mean? It's a different route to take in order to keep what you have.
Okay.
And it's the healthier route, because by doing what's necessary to make sure that the relationship is solidified, you're going to keep him around. By trying to set it up to where he needs you, or you're kind of like isolating him and suffocating him or trying to close him off, that makes him want to rebel. That makes him want to be free from you. That's why you never do anything by force. Force causes you to want to have friction or just get loose. So no, you let things happen naturally and effortlessly and easily. That way everything is cohesive and everything can go and flow smoothly. But yeah, it's the same thing. I'm going about it in the healthier way. Like, yeah, I fear losing my husband. Therefore, I do what's necessary to keep him and not control him.
Okay. Well said. Now, that's very sound logic.
Okay.
I know that it is. And I don't see what the pushback is. However, I don't often give my message to women who aren't ready to receive it. So, what would you say is the main pushback? Like, how do women, refute that logic?
As far as what, being submissive, or what are you asking exactly?
Yeah, like in your book, you talk about the benefits of being submissive, and you talk a little bit about the pushback, that it's slavery and things like that.
Okay.
list. It was on the first page, and I get it, but these are not the pushbacks that you mentioned, that you labeled, aren't really based in logic. It's based in feelings. It's more like, I feel like a slave, even though he's not, saying
right.
like, I feel like I'm mistreated. It's how he says it, not what he says, and things like that. I feel like I'm not free, even though you are. But
yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
And
Go for it.
I hope I am, but let me just say this, and you can just elaborate further if you need to. But
Okay.
a lot of the pushback that I get as far as encouraging women to be more submissive or be in alignment and do these things, it's more along the lines of they fear doing those things and then it backfiring or it not working anyway.
Right.
So it's like, well, why should I even do that if either way he's going to cheat on me, either way he's going to disrespect me, either way he's going to leave me? So why not try to establish myself to where I am in the dominant position, because either way I go, it's not going to work. Like they're already entering into the relationship feeling like it's going to fail, feeling like no matter what you do, these men are not worthy of anything. So that's the pushback that I get a lot as far as telling these women, hey, this works. And they're like, yeah, no, it doesn't. Because, I've seen women do what you're doing and the men still do, what they want to do. So is that answering what your question was, or?
It does. And it brings up another question. I have my theory on it, but I'd like to hear yours. Where do you think this belief that if they do the right thing, they'll get wrong results come from? Because I know everybody has that, one situation where the woman was perfect and the man was perfectly imperfect. They all have. Well, what's your theory on where this belief comes from?
I believe it comes from them choosing to be with Pookie Paul Walls, and then Pookie Paul Wall doesn't treat them right, because let's just get it out there. Let's put it out there. A lot of us women feel like we can change a no good guy into Prince Charming. And we've done that in our past, to where we took him in, we tried to polish him up, we tried to clean him up, and he still left us after he got what he wanted out of us, or after he quote unquote leveled up on us. And so now we have it in our minds that, every man will have the same result, because after all, I keep choosing Pookie Paul Walls to build up and clean up, and they keep cheating on me and they keep leaving me. And they're not understanding it's because it's something within a man, right, that wants to build himself, that wants to do for self. And, they lose a level of respect for a woman when, she's the one that's doing the work for him, and so that's where that comes in. But the thing that they're failing to realize is that when you do those things for the right guy, it works. You can't do all the right things for the wrong person thinking that it's going to change him into the right person. Like, it doesn't work like that. People have to already be, especially when it comes to men, a man has to already be a man for himself. He has to already want to be a man for himself. You can't make him be a man. You can't submit into him being a man. Like, he has to already be that and establish, those roles for himself. So that's where that fear comes from, just from us being attracted to low vibrational Paul Wall Pookies, trying to polish him up, and then he gets polished up and then he leaves us behind.
So you're saying success is a combination of submission and picking the right guy to submit to.
Yeah, because you have to make sure that the guy is in a position to where he understands his role and what he's supposed to do and what he's supposed to be. A lot of us, we don't choose guys based upon what their mentalities are, or what they're striving for, what they're actually currently doing in order to solidify himself. We just go based upon, oh, well, he's cute, or I like him, or I like the way he makes me feel. Goes back to those feelings things. And it, you have to go based upon his ways and his actions as well. Like, yeah, you want somebody that's attractive, don't get me wrong, but he has to already be setting himself up for success. And so, yeah, you have to go after the guy that is showing and displaying to you that he is on his way, on the right path. You just can't say, well, he's on the wrong path, but by me coming into his life, I'll turn him around and get him to go down this avenue, and then we'll be happily ever after. Like, no, the man has to already be on his right path before you. You're just an addition. You're not making him. Does that make sense?
No, it makes perfect sense. But I have to say, do you think that you have a rare talent in that regard? And here's why. And I'm talking about the selection process, because I remember you saying before that, of course, you were around 20, and your husband was still in university, or he just graduated, which means he was very young. At least I tip to myself now. He was very young. It's very, and trust me, I don't really scout guys, so I don't know, but I'm assuming, from the success of other women, that it has to be difficult to determine if a guy is that dude at that age and at that stage in his life. How did you do that? Like, because there are a lot of women who dated, some 22-year-olds who weren't as successful, whether they submitted or not. And this isn't me throwing shade at 22-year-old dudes. This is just, I'm curious, like, because I think that the ladies could benefit from advice on that. Like, how do you pick the proper guy at a young age?
Again, you have to pay attention to his behaviors, his patterns, his activities, his hobbies, his interests. Like, those things really count. Those things really matter. I honed in on the fact that he loved to read. He was very disciplined. Like, these are key things that will let you know a person's character and what they're made of, what they're about, the things that they spend the majority of their time doing, the things that they are passionate about. And so I was zeroing in on the fact that, once again, he liked to read. He was very self-disciplined. Like, he didn't eat meat. Like, who doesn't eat meat and you're Black and you're young? Like, what? He worked out, he was always learning and studying, and like, these are key things that he loved to do. Like, he had to do every day in order to feel complete, like he did something, and I just honed in on the fact, like, he's a very productive guy. He was a very self-motivated guy. He didn't need anybody to remind him to do things. Like, he created things on his own. He created his own schedule, and he stuck to it. And I admired that, and so I just wasn't focused on, like, well, the penis is good, and he looks good, and I like his muscles, or I like his long locks. Like, no, like, I was studying his ways and his actions. What was his mentality? What were the things that he was planning for himself, for his future? Was he working towards those things? Not just talking, because a lot of females, we can get caught up in the fairy tales that a man is telling us because he knows how to spit game real good, or we like his swag, or whatever the case. Like, no, is he actively doing these things? Is he working towards his goals and his dreams? Is he bringing things into reality? Focus on that. And if he is, like, he's probably a good guy. He's probably somebody that you would want to link up with. So again, pay attention to his ways and actions, his hobbies, what he's interested in. Does he follow through on his word? Is he just a bunch of talk? All of that is important. And I think so many of us just sleep on those things and think that, well, we'll figure that out later. All I know right here and right now is he looks good, and I think I want to have sex with him. Like, no, what is his character like? And so, no, it's not this hidden talent. It's really simple. It's just that we choose to work backwards. We want to get with the guy that we are most attracted to, and then, figure out the rest about as far as him establishing himself later. Like, no, he has to already be established for himself too already. You know what I mean? Not just say, okay, well, he looks good, let's work on him. Like, no, stop. He has to work on himself. He has to be sufficient on his own. Again, you're just an add-on, you're a bonus. He's a man for himself first. That is what you hone in on. So it's not a special talent. It's just that we overlook a lot of things thinking that it'll come down the line, and it never does.
Okay. So that's deep. Like, once again, I never actually looked at it from a woman's perspective as, like, what traits should they look for in a man. I mean, I know men tend to try to mold themselves into what the plurality of women want, and
yeah, you got to pay attention. Is he ambitious? Is he motivated? Is he disciplined? Is he assertive? Is he masculine? Is he like, all of that matters. You have to hone in on the quality of his character. not just how he looks. Now, don't get me wrong. We all want somebody that we're attracted to. But at the end of the day, what is he made of? What is he built of? Because I'm going to tell you right now, Game Changer, it's some fine guys out here. Okay. They look good. They're sexy. They make money and everything, but their character is off. Their mentality is off. They're not disciplined. They're not structured. You know, they just are a bunch of talk. And so it's just like, and best believe I've been presented with very attractive guys. Mm-hmm. And it's like, no, I don't want you because I can see your character, your mentality is just not where I feel like a man should be, you know? And so, yeah, you have to go based upon the character, the ways and actions. What is he actively doing? What is he actively displaying? And it's not hard to determine. It's just like, once again, we overlook it thinking, well, it'll come down the line. But all I know is he's tall, he's fine, and he got a little change in his pocket, and I want him right here, right now. Like, no, that's not how it works. And then we're grossly disappointed when it backfires because we thought that, you know, we could make this shell of a guy that we wanted be the guy that we wanted internally, and it backfires. So hone in on the character, the mentality, the ways and actions. Absolutely, hands down.
Okay. And do you think that when you were 20, do you think that the other women were honing in on the same thing just with different results, or do you think that they were honing in on these superficial things? And
it's always superficial. How big is his penis? How good is the sex? How tall is he? What kind of car does he drive? All of it. It's always something surface level, physical, and nothing that is shining a light on what he's built of, what he's made of. Where can he take you? You know what I'm saying? And so that's really what I've noticed as far as a lot of women in general, not just being young and 21 and 22, but just women in general. They can be way older, much older, and they're still just focusing on this external part of a man, and it goes way deeper on this superficial element. You got to see what his mind is, you know, because that is what is going to shape the future. That's what's going to mold the foundation, what he's made up mentally. And so, yeah, they're not doing that. They're absolutely not doing that. Again, it's all about the superficial, surface level values of a man. Everything else is just like, oh, no, you know, oh, he's too short. Oh, he's too light. Oh, he's too dark. His hair's too nappy. It's just all these just stupid things that disqualify a man from being with us when we should be honing in on, once again, what is he made of? What is he about? Does he have integrity? Does he have principles? Does he have morals and values? What are they? Do they align with you? All of that matters. All of that is important, you know. And you can be young and still know how to take heed to those things. It's not hard. It's not a hidden talent. It's just basic. Like, everybody should be doing this when it comes to women as well. Men should be doing that when it comes to women. Like, yeah, she looks good, that ass is fat, but is she in alignment with my principles, my morals, my values? Anybody can do this.
I have to admit, when I was your husband's age, or excuse me, when I was the age that your husband was when he met you, I did look for completely different qualities in a woman that I look for, that I should have been looking for. I should have been looking for a more structured and organized woman. But sometimes with structure comes a sense of routine. Like, I give an example. There's a woman who I know that has a bedtime, and that might not be the funnest thing, but at least she's of a mindset to where, she'll make sure that you're up and healthy and getting ready for work on time, as opposed to, talking on YouTube too late and things like that. So, bring the things to your life that you're missing. I didn't really look for those qualities, and, I would have been classified as superficial myself. That's why I was so surprised. You as a young lady, you've seen the things that I didn't even see at that age. So yeah,
absolutely.
Kudos for that. Now, this is interesting because you're saying that the plurality of women were superficial. I do know that in the Black community, it does seem as if the women are have very high standards for physical attraction, and the men, on the other hand, by contrast, have very low standards, meaning that, a woman requires that a man is, 6'6" with a six pack and can go 60 minutes, and the men don't really care, if she's 280 pounds, at 5'3" or something like that. It's very reverse from what I see in every other culture. So, do you think that that's just the men reacting to um, the women's high standards? Because if she's superficial, okay, here's what I'm getting. If she's superficial, then there has to be a difference in look, meaning that she wants a man that's not only attractive but more attractive or more handsome than she is pretty. So because that has been the standard for so long, do you think fellas are just like surrendering to that?
It could be. I mean, that's something more that's a question that maybe you would answer, right?
Well, here's how.
Why? You can answer as a man. Why are you guys accepting subpar women? Like, I don't know why. Why would you guys do that?
Subpar women. So I couldn't answer that question, but I have asked men that, and I think what it came down to was a sense of scarcity when it comes to that, and a sense of sexual urgency. So some of the fellas that I've asked here on my channel, they say, "Oh, you don't understand Game Changer because you live in California." They say stuff like that, which means that you're built on scarcity. But my response, my response to that is, well, I granted there are higher concentrations of attractive women in certain areas. However, you shouldn't have to make extraordinary. You shouldn't settle extraordinarily, because what winds up happening is you deal with women who do the whole power play thing, and that is a power play. You already settled, you already compromised, you already made an extraordinary compromise. If it's a situation where you work out and she don't, that's all compromise, and that's going to set the tone, in my opinion. And you're the expert on this. That sets the tone in a relationship for long term, control.
Yeah. I personally believe that men should raise their standards. I feel like a lot of you guys really make extraordinary and extreme compromises when it comes to being with women or getting with women, and then ultimately you guys end up sacrificing a huge chunk of yourself by trying to accommodate her and keep her satisfied. So it's just like this ongoing thing of just giving until you really are a shell of yourself. And I've seen that happen to where it's just like, well, I already settled as far as being with her. It's not anything more to sacrifice this and sacrifice that and sacrifice that. And before you know it, like, you're not even yourself anymore, And so I personally feel like, and this is just me, men should raise their standards for women. Not saying to be ridiculously unrealistic like these women are, but if like, you should at least get the basics, like a woman that is in shape, that takes care of herself, that is in alignment with your values and your morals and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, you should at least get that. And not have to compromise that. And if you can't find that, if all this fails, like, it's fine just to be by yourself. And that's part of the issue. And I feel like if more men would do that, and this is just me speaking as a woman, I don't know, like I said, you probably be more qualified to answer this, but as a woman, I'm just going to say this, like, if men would raise their standards and say, you know what, I'm not getting with the woman if she's not even reaching or meeting the bare minimum, a lot of women would have to strive to reach those bare minimums at least. And that way they would be able to have access to the man, And so it would be a win-win, essentially, in my opinion, if men did raise their standards and just say, well, this is all I'm presented with. Let me just accept it, So I feel like men should do that. And if they did, it would force women in a way to step their game up, and at least, like I said, meet the bare minimum, because that's not asking for too much.
I agree. And what you're describing is what Kevin Samuels say he calls fit, feminine, and friendly. Those are the basics. Two of them, should be very easy to accomplish. The feminine and fit, the feminine and friendly portion. If you're not fit, that takes a little bit more work, but the results is worth it, in my opinion. However, and I want to play devil's advocate a little bit, because during the interview, she was saying that, there was a tone well, let's just leave the interview out of it. Just generally speaking, there seems to be a tone that he needs me more than I need him. So, if he were to if he were to set a standard and play the waiting game, they there's a feeling that I'll win because he needs me for new generations or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the first attempt at leverage. He needs me more than I need him. And men seem to fall into it like, oh, I'm not going to go without for a period of time in order to, get what I reasonably deserve. Um,
Mm.
how should we as content creators cope with that particular argument? Because it's a fallacy that leaves both parties alone.
Mm. That's a good question. So you're asking, like men are like, look, I need to have it, essentially. Is that what you're asking?
Not just that. Okay, I'll put it like this. The women in our community seem a lot more comfortable being single than the men in our community.
Really?
Yes. And this is something that I've noticed in interactions. And also this is something that that the media portrays. Like there's
Hmm.
always four single women, Harlem, living single, set it off, waiting to exhale. There's always like four single black women who at the end of the movie find this comfort in being single. However, the movie for black men is some, super jack off shirt dude that's trying to, fight the universe in order to get with this woman. So yeah, and I think that affects the mentality of the individuals, absolutely. But when a woman is single nowadays, she's looked at as living her best life, hot girl summer, this, and this, and when a man is single, he's this incel, he's this loser, he's this lame, he's, this, and this. So it creates a false sense of urgency or
Mm.
urgency on the men's part and no sense of urgency on the woman's part, which is unique to
Gotcha.
our community.
Right. Yeah. I would say, who gives a fuck? Like, so what if people think that you're this and you're that? Like, it's all about you being at peace with yourself. And if you're gonna be worse off with a chick that you're not happy with, like, who cares? Like, okay, oh well. Like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe that's just a little bit too blunt and too honest or whatever. But I really do feel like men should start possessing the mentality of, well, I just won't have it then, or I'll just be considered an incel or a lame or whatever the case is. It just is what it is.
No, I agree
Um,
wholeheartedly. I mean, see, here's the thing: no pussy is better than bad pussy. That's how I look at it. It'll, I mean, because the women have taken that. They've taken that. Like, no man is better than a man that's not 6'4" or something like that. When they set their physical standard, they are willing to be single unless that standard is met.
right.
I wish that brothers would take on that way of thinking.
Yeah, like to answer your question, like, just stop giving a damn about it. Like, it's time for you guys to create your own standard or your own identities as far as how you perceive yourself and how you perceive each other. Because if you guys created that, we would have to accept that. Just like how we have learned to embrace being single and all of this. If you guys were to do the same thing, a lot of women would just be like, well, dang, well, they're not happy being, or they're happy being single. So, or they're good without us. Either way, they're good. That would raise eyebrows, and I feel like that would make women want to again do what's necessary to be with you guys, because they're starting to see either way you're fine with or without them. So it's just time to shift the narrative for yourself and remold it. That's just my opinion. That would be my answer to that question. Like, who gives a damn what anybody thinks? Who gives a damn about feeling pressured or anything like that? Like, if you're not going to get your desired results, oh, so be it.
Okay. Now, the topic kind of shifted to being comfortable with women abstaining from sex, And I think you were gone when I was saying this, but first of all, I agree with you. I think your husband was saying the same thing. No, he was saying something else when he was talking about grounds for, divorce, or if the personality change and things like that. But um, it sounds bad and it sounds selfish or lack of sexual control. But what I was stating was it's about more than that. It's about if a woman is abstaining from sex, it really means that she's trying to leverage something out of you. She's trying to, abstain from sex to give it value in order to do whatever she wishes with that leverage in the future. That's why I feel that is grounds for dismissal, not because I didn't get any that night. You see where I'm going with that?
Yeah. Like she has a motive behind it. It's not just because, I don't feel like it. It's like, no, I'm trying to have something over your head.
Right, exactly. I'm trying to make sure that you're hungry so I can dangle the carrot in front of you later. So, I mean, do you think that, because I think that your stance is that, a man is justified if he wanted to leave at that point. Am I wrong in that assessment?
If a woman is not giving you what you signed up for, it's grounds to leave.
Okay.
Especially when she were giving you those things from the jump, and she knew that's what you signed up for. Like I told Tasha K, I'm gonna be consistent because I'm being truthful.
No, you're being real, yeah.
If a man signs up to marry you because you were given great sex, you were a good cook, you looked good, you kept yourself in shape, you were listening to him, you were being submissive, supportive, whatever, those things have to remain consistent. You can't just say, well, now I have you, let me switch up and try to use these things as leverage over you in order to get you to do what I want. No, because that's not what I signed up for. So, for example, if it's the same thing with women, if a man said, well, I'm going to be a provider and a protector and a leader and all of this, I'm going to take care of you and everything before we get married, and so I can marry you. And then he marries you, and now he says, oh, I don't want to work anymore. I don't want to provide. I don't want to protect. We would leave you. Would we not? Because that's not what we signed up for. I signed up for a man that was working, being productive, taking care of me. Same thing. Well, I signed up for a woman that was going to give me what I desired as my wife. So you're not doing that. Okay, well, you're not acting as a wife. So why are you my wife? Why are you my girlfriend? Why am I with you? Why are you here if you're not going to do your duties and responsibilities that, brought us together in the first place, that made me say, okay, I want to go ahead and get off the market and just be with you solely in the first place. That's the whole reason why we're in a relationship, to get those perks and benefits that this person is offering to us. So if you're going to try to dangle that or withhold that, I can leave and find somebody else who's going to fulfill their end of the bargain.
Okay, fair enough. Now, there are some women who say that, and I don't agree with this, and I think that this is more leverage and tactics and things like that, unless they are virgins. But there are women who say, I'm not going to give any boyfriend benefits or, husband benefits before you actually, yeah. So you've heard that before. And so that would be, and I want the fellas to know this, because what they're doing is they're setting what's going to happen, because you can't use the excuse, or you can't say what DNieka was saying was like, listen, I signed up for this, because at that point you really don't know what you're signing up for. You really don't know the availability that she will allow you, because you haven't experienced any of it. Like for all you know, she could be like a once a month chick. It's like, well, it's more than you got when we were dating. So
I absolutely disagree with that stance. I hate that stance, because once again, how is a man supposed to know that you are wifey material if you're not doing things beforehand to indicate that you are wifey material? Like, that is just dumb. So fellas, don't ever allow a female to dangle that and say, well, I'm not doing anything. You're just my boyfriend. I'm not your wife. Well, you'll never be my wife, because I don't know that you'll be able to fulfill these duties and responsibilities without you first and foremost showcasing that you are capable. Like, that's just, I hate that. I really do hate that. And I get the concept, and I get the intention behind it, but it's really counterproductive. It really is. You know, I get it as far as, well, you don't want to do too much, because you may do too much and then that man take advantage of you and leave you, and so then you're asked out. But let's just be real, you guys. Like, you have to do those things. Relationships in general are just a gamble. Like, you may do all the right things and lose out, you know, on both ends. But it's a chance that you have to be ready and willing to take to see where it goes. But if you never do anything, it may never go anywhere. So again, just take the chance.
Yeah, I agree. You know, now, do you think that there are certain things that are solely reserved for marriage as far as relationships go?
Solely, maybe getting certain things in each other's names and stuff like that. I think that would be something that should be reserved for marriage. But like, for example, like getting a car together, or, you know, having to pay a car note or something like that. Some along those lines. I feel like it can get sticky and tricky if you guys were to part ways. Mm-hmm. But other than that, like, everything, like, it's the same thing. Whether you're married or not married, like, it's the same thing. It just comes with paperwork and things of that sort. But it's the same thing that you have to do. It's the same thing. But I would say maybe getting credit cards together or cars together and stuff like that. That can be sticky and tricky. But yeah, it's just
for the financial stuff, basically.
Yeah, that too. Especially if you are not solid within that relationship, I wouldn't mix in together funds and stuff like that before you're married. But I mean, just because, like I said, like, you don't want to if you were to part ways, you don't want to have to go through that whole headache and of trying to split that up. But then again, if you get married, you might have to do that anyway if you were to get a divorce. So if you really want to be technical and boil it down, like, nothing really is off limits. Because again, it's the same thing anyway. You would have to do the same thing regardless. So
I agree with that. Should a guy look at it as a red flag if a woman who's not in any way in entertainment wishes to hyphenate her name or keep her maiden name?
Are you asking me, should a woman hyphenate her name, like, or should a man be alarmed if she does?
Should a man be alarmed if a woman insists on doing that?
I would say, yeah. Because why? Why do you want to keep your name?
Right.
You know, like, to me, I feel like on some subconscious level, it's an indicator that she's not maybe all in, or she wants to have her own identity and stuff like that, which is fine, again, to, you know, be able to be an individual. But it's kind of
individual.
Huh?
When you're married, you're not an individual, right?
That's true. So it's just it's something that should be an eyebrow raiser, because again, like, why do you need that? Like, we're getting married so that you can take on my name and we can establish our own family together, you know. And so to me, it's kind of like a feministic type of stance to take, or route to take, because again, it's like, I want to have my own name, and I don't need the man, and I don't want to take on his name. It's kind of like an eyebrow raiser. Would I say it's a deal breaker? Probably not, but it is something that I would want to investigate further, just to figure out, like, the whys. So it would be the why for me. Like, why does she want to do it? And if she can't give you a legitimate answer, then it's kind of like, I don't know about her. Because you want a woman that's all in. And that may seem very small or minor, but it is kind of indicating that she's probably not all the way in with you. You know, I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too deeply into it. I wouldn't want to do that.
It's a big deal to me.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. And okay. I can't think of, like, many instances. Say unless I'm like Megan Good's new choice, you know, now that she's divorced, like, you know, okay, you spent your life building a brand around the name Megan Good. Go ahead and keep it. You know, like there's situations like that. But outside of that, no hyphens, no anything. I can't think of a reason that would justify, something like that.
Yeah, like you said, as far as like an entertainer, maybe. Yeah, because you want to be able to make sure that you're able to still have your name be recognized and stuff like that. So sure, but in everyday life, that would be a little bit of an eyebrow raiser for me. I wouldn't say it would be a deal breaker though, game changer. I wouldn't, but it is a head scratcher and an eyebrow raiser. Like why? I would need to know why, and it would need to be legit. Because again, like to me, it would speak to you maybe not being all the way in with me.
Right.
Like, why do you want to make sure? Like to me, like especially if she just wanted to keep her name and not do the hyphen thing, to me it would indicate that she would want a easier exit if she wanted to leave you. You know, you don't have to go through the paperwork as far as changing your name back and all of that. Like I would feel like it would be a setup for that. But yeah, like I feel like you plan on not being here for long term, or you feel like it's not going to be long lasting, which is why you wouldn't do something like that. So that would be my take on it. But again, I don't know if it would be a complete deal breaker if she, as far as the hyphen thing.
I did raise my eyebrow a little bit, and that was, she actually gave like a reasonably sound reason. For seeing at the time, we wasn't talking about marriage. We were just like throwing hypotheticals out there. And she said that her reason was that her father only had daughters, and she wanted to keep the type thing going. But that was sound. But at the end of the day, it's like, well, you're gonna have grandkids, and no, that's not gonna happen. So like no matter what, it's going to end with the marriage. And I think he had like 6 daughters. So like he has other kids, and maybe they'll find somebody that put up with that, but not this one.
Yeah, I don't. That would be a legitimate argument though, to where it was like, oh, okay, it's understandable. So I mean, you wouldn't break up with her for that, would you?
No, I didn't break up with her for that, because we weren't really talking up marriage. We were just, throwing it out there, like spitballing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not like a complete deal breaker. I would need to know the reasoning behind it. And if it was like sound enough, I would be like, oh, okay, I understand it. But if she's just like, no, I just want to keep my name, and it's my name, and I don't want to lose it, and I don't, then yeah, no. Because again, like she's probably not going to be the type of woman that's going to be under your leadership or your guidance, or it's an indication of so many different deeper issues that play there that again would raise my eyebrow.
Okay, fair enough. And last question: should a woman raise her eyebrow if a man asks for a prenup? Actually, there's a follow-up question to it. Since you were talking about the all the way in thing and backdoor, like should a woman raise her eyebrow if a man was to say, will you marry me? And by the way, sign here.
Honestly, as a woman, it would raise my eyebrow. It would. Because again, it's the same thing. I feel like you're planning an exit. And that's just my female nature speaking. I do feel like, well, why do I need that? Again, my logical side understands it. But as the woman that you're supposed to trust and marry and love and be with for the rest of your life, because again, we're making these vows. Why do we need that if we're going to be together forever?
Well, because vows are seldomly honored in modern culture. Unfortunate but true. Unfortunate but true. It would be nice if a person's word was enough. And there was a time when it was, and discussions like this, didn't happen. Wasn't needed, I should say. But we unfortunately we don't live in those times. So would you, and I'm not saying anything towards your current marriage, but I'm just saying, would you recommend that another look at it logically and say, something, this is just something you have, hoping to never use? Like,
no, don't get me wrong, it would raise my eyebrow. But if my husband were to come to me and ask for a prenup, I would sign it. Because again, as a woman and me loving him and I feel like he loves me, I don't feel like we would ever need it anyway.
Right.
You know, so it would be fine, but I would raise my eyebrow because it would trigger deeper thoughts. But I would sign it. I would sign it.
Okay. Fair enough.
Because I feel like, I mean, I trust you trust me. I get why you're doing it. My eyebrow is raised because again, it's like something in the back of my mind, like, why do you feel this is necessary? But I would sign it. I would. Okay. And it's no cap. I would absolutely sign a prenup because again, I feel like it's not going to be necessary anyway. You know, it's just like insurance. It's insurance that, you know, we're good. And if you try some shit, you know, this is what could result. And so I would sign it. But I would raise my eyebrow. Like, what are you thinking?
Mm-hmm.
What are you planning on it? Do you plan on it not to work out? But I get it. We live in a time where, you know, things happen. And so you just got to make sure you're covered, especially as a established man. Let me say this, game changer, especially if you are coming into the relationship already established to where you have your money, your finances, your assets and everything. And then you just happen to marry me. You know, like, yeah, it's only fair for you to protect what you came in with the relationship with without me being a part of it or without me being involved. Like, that's fair to me, you know? So I get it out. I would understand it. I would still sign it. I'm not going to lie, though. It would trigger the thought of, well, is he planning on leaving me one day? Like, that would be my eyebrow raised in the back of my head. But I would sign it. And I would logically understand why he would do it, especially if he already came into the relationship successful before me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's fine.
And the last one to follow up to that is if you had to counsel man, if a man were to ask you, you know, personally, like, how do I go about presenting it to a fiance or a prospective fiance? Like, what would be the best way that a man could say? Like, does he do it after the whole one knee ceremony? And, you know, like, oh, by the way, like, how do you present something like that to anyone?
It would be a casual conversation way before I even asked her. So it wouldn't be
okay.
It wouldn't be an instance to where I was like, I want to marry this girl, and right before I ask her to marry me, I'm going to talk about a prenuptial, or right after I propose to her, I'm going to talk about like, it would be something that I establish up front in casual conversation as far as vetting her. Like, I would ask, like, okay, well, how do you feel about a prenuptial? How do you feel about, like, these are getting to know you questions. Like, I would want that. I would want to establish that way everybody is aware up front of what the intentions are, what the stances are, what the perspectives are, and we can come together as far as some kind of mutual agreement or understanding. But I would do that way before I even thought about taking it to another level with her. Like, she would already know that this is how I feel about it. And if you don't want to get with that program, then I guess we're not going to ever get married, you know? So it would be something that I established up front, you know? And if not up front, let's say that you've been with this girl for a while, but you are thinking about getting married to her and you do want a prenuptial agreement, again, I would plan it out to where it was maybe a year ahead or a few months ahead. And I would spark up that conversation. Like, hey, baby, if we were to get married or whatever, well, how would you feel about getting a prenup? And see what her response would be. And then once she expresses her response to you or how she feels about it, then you express yours. And then again, that would be a conversation that you guys can have to, again, establish some kind of mutual ground. But you would absolutely need to let her know from the jump, way before you do it or ask her to marry you, that, you know, you feel like a prenuptial should be signed.
Okay, fair enough. And yeah, that was my last question. Do you have any closing thoughts? Thanks for coming up, by the way. I greatly appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Thanks to the proud Pookie Paul Wall lover. She inspired me to hop on board and talk. And we had a great dope conversation. So thank you for having me. I didn't watch all of your review because I had to do a premiere on my channel, but I'll go back and watch. And again, y'all, don't be so harsh on Tasha, okay? You know,
Okay.
I know she was being a little slick. She was being a little slick, trying to catch your little big sister up. But for the most part, she was respectful. And when you get to the end, like I said, she was more on code. You know, again, a lot of things I didn't agree with that she did or that she said, but she was a cool girl, and I appreciate her for a cool woman, and I appreciate her for having me on.
Okay.
But I'll be watching your follow-up reviews of the interview and chiming in, and I might come up again. Who knows?
Okay. Thanks a lot. All right.
Peace.
With that, I'd like to peace. All right. All right. Thanks again to DNieka Marie for coming up. And once again, I'd like to thank the Cash Apps and Super Chats, managers and moderators, those who listen silently, and those who participate in the chat. Make sure you hit that like button on your way out. And this is GameChanger00100. Game over. Peace.